station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing out there? It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ. You may have forgotten me over the last couple days. I actually took days off from work. Like I guess like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, except you guys. Well,
we work on our days
story.
off, AJ.
Yeah,
I appreciate that about you guys.
That's how we roll.
Now, to be fair, none of us knew that was a day off because I used a vacation day to take that day off.
See?
So
You took a vacation day. You know what Vic and I did? We set an alarm, baby.
yeah.
We were the only people in all of San Antonio awake.
Yeah,
It was just
I think
us.
you're right. I think you're right.
Not even our suits.
I mean, well, listen, what's done is done.
Hey, it's 2025, baby. We
It is.
charge
Happy
forward.
2025.
Charge into it.
How was it without me here? Did you guys have all the fun?
It's a
Did you guys eat
blast.
breakfast tacos every day?
Blast.
Did you?
Yeah.
They got everything cleaned up, too.
Yeah, I bet.
Smells
there
gone.
was food in the break room every day.
Smells gone.
They brought it. They imported coffee.
Yeah.
They,
Oh, no.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we brought in a barista.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
there-
someone
I
actually
had
here
my
making
guy
it?
come in. Yeah, came in. We had some, had an omelet station.
Ugh.
That smells out of here now. But yeah, it was nice. It was, worthy.
And yeah, I guess I missed a little bit of football talk.
Yeah, we
little
had
bit.
McCarthy Friday, what could be his last. The playoff game that got moved is a good game.
Still.
It was a good game, but it wasn't like I can't wait to get up and talk about this.
Can't get to on the Georgia Notre Dame game.
That Notre Dame team. I mean, it's a good game.
I can't wait to talk about Georgia not being able to move the
Yeah,
ball
I
at
can't.
all.
Yeah,
That'll be
Georgia
fun.
was only capable of doing one thing this year, and that was beating Texas. That was it.
That's it.
I mean, and other than that, we had Notre Dame. Turned out, it was a yawn. So we had that and New Year's. Does Vegas do a lot of fireworks?
They do fireworks over the city on New Year's.
Like individuals, like people going to Mr. W and buying $300.
No, it's illegal.
It's illegal here.
No, it's illegal, but you have to drive out of the county to buy them.
Same here.
Same here. Yeah.
Except Clark County is like
Gigantic.
it's massive.
So how far would you have to drive, like from your house?
45 minutes or an hour.
So it'd take you an hour to drive to go to a place to buy fireworks.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, San Antonio.
Ain't nobody doing that.
Let me tell you, San Antonio, have you seen the video floating around?
Oh, yeah.
It
You
was
guys
like
did it up.
Beirut. And we've always, we're pro firework here.
Yeah, we
And we all kind of wink at the law.
Yeah.
And, and the good news is we're pretty good about, they didn't sell any bottle rockets. The things that start fires, we're pretty good about. Now we won't use those. But the heavy artillery that we have access to and the amount that I saw getting used it was the most I've ever seen. And obviously, I guess as San Antonio continues to grow, it'll continue to be that. But for people that aren't from here, and you go, and this is your first July the 4th, when everybody around you is setting off the kind of fireworks that you would have to, that you would go watch somebody else do in other states.
Yeah.
It was quite a thing, man. It was a thunder. So we had that to talk about, the evening and how your pets survived. So, yeah, and sports.
Okay.
So
There was
we
sports
survived.
Games,
I mean,
sports match games.
It's a drudge in the middle of your holiday. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we're back in the saddle.
We're back. You know what? It's time to get back to work.
And my floors are done now, so life is back to normal.
Are you walking around barefoot and just?
Well, no, it's still a bunch of dust because we spent all day yesterday getting everything.
These are very
trying back
expensive floors, Vic.
Oh,
Very
2 hours.
expensive.
I was going to say
2 weeks and.
They're made from zebra bones.
They are. It was hard to cultivate the zebra bones, but we got them all. I had to have them come through with some friends of mine that crossed the border.
And not the cheap leg bones. It's all
vertebrae.
spine and rib bones. The
It
good
makes for an
stuff.
interesting pattern.
Yeah.
The black and white goes all the way down to the bone.
That's
You wouldn't
right.
You wouldn't have thought that. But to get it all done was a beast. But that's finally done. So I feel like it is 2025. I have floors, and I've now discovered that the rest of my house needs to be redone.
I was going to say, did he point out all the other things you need to spend money on him with?
Dude, he left me a checklist. He goes, over the last couple of weeks I've been.
Did he leave it with you or your wife?
My wife's been doing all the. My wife won't let me deal with him. She's like, no, I'll handle this. Like, no. Because by about Thursday of last week, I was like, how much have we paid these fools?
Yeah.
Like, she was like, well, I haven't paid them anything. I said, well, I say fools, genuinely nice guys. They really were. But to say that they worked slow was ridiculous. I mean, it was the slowest working duo of really nice guys who did a great job. But at some point,
you didn't pay them by the hour.
No, thank gosh.
Yeah.
And you buy a guy, you find the contractor who's like, yeah, I'll do it for you. I'll squeeze you in between my other jobs. That's what I should expect.
That's what you're.
I know.
Signing up
I'm
for.
almost willing to overpay and have them done fast. Just get in and get out.
Yeah. Let's put a rush
finish,
on it.
Just bring as many dudes as required and just get it done. You always hear about rich people buy time.
Yeah.
And poor people buy things.
I think that's right.
The time I would have bought from those dudes, man, they'd have been wealthy. And how much for 5 hours?
Oh,
that's what it would have been. It said 2 weeks.
5 hours would have gotten you it would have gotten you no work done.
Well, maybe they show up with 18 guys, man. Maybe everybody's responsible for one plank. Just line up and let's nail it in.
Well, congratulations.
Well, I'm glad it's done.
I'm
I'm glad you're back. You traveled safe. Oh, I got a couple of your boxes in my car, by the way.
Oh yeah, my Amazon packages.
Next time I'll bring those things.
Also, I learned. Rob calls me last night. This is one of the strangest phone calls I've ever gotten in my life.
Only Rob.
I'm telling you,
and as you were walking, I thought, hope I didn't think I was rifling around in your stuff because I didn't really mean to.
I want you to think about how crazy this is. So he calls me at like 9-something last night.
Well, I wanted to make sure you were home safe. That was
yeah. Well, you texted to ask if I was, if I'd made it home. I said yes.
And as I texted you, this is prologue, past is prologue. As I texted you, I thought, oh crap, I didn't tell him what happened. And I was typing, and I thought, my God, this is getting into a paragraph. I should just call him. But I also called him right during the fourth quarter of the football game.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't over, but I knew that I was watching it, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time telling him because it wasn't that big a deal, but I didn't tell you. So, this is the beginning of the story.
So, when he calls me from my apartment on, what was it, Saturday?
It was Saturday.
And says, hey, man, I'm here. Everything's good. I'm actually sitting down right now. My feet are killing me.
My foot is killing me.
So he's like, I'm at your apartment now. I'm sitting down. My feet are killing me. I'm like, oh, okay. Make yourself at home.
Right, might as well.
So when he calls me last night, he's like, just so you know, I used all your Band-Aids and I borrowed a pair of your socks.
What?
I've never, ever... No one's ever called me and been like, hey, man, just so you know, if you're missing a pair of socks, here's why.
I have them.
Well, I don't think you'd have missed the socks, but Band-Aids when you need them when you don't have them.
Quite frankly, I didn't know I had Band-Aids.
They weren't hard to find.
Well, that's good.
It was right there.
That's my wife did a good job with that.
It was a little travel pack of 3 of them, which is I needed them.
You needed 3 Band-Aids? It was a 3 Band-Aid job?
Yeah, dude.
His toe's big.
So
Rob's got new boots.
I got some new Tecovas boots, which I love, by the way. And that's not a plug. It's just boots.
Yeah. Paid full
and
freight
there was
for
the
them.
first time I was going to wear them, but I left the house wearing a pair of socks. Well, I'd worn them around the house and walking the dog and stuff to start breaking them in. But I left the house in a pair of socks that were too thin. And I thought as I was walking out the door, my heel's kind of slipping. I probably should go back because it's only like the third time I've ever worn them.
Right.
So I put on a pair of socks that was too thin. I didn't think about it. And then I had to go, and this is why you didn't get the call right then. So I was in Bass Pro. I was shopping for a late Christmas gift that I had to be in San Marcos by a time. I was buying the gift when you texted, and I thought, oh, well, I had to do something for you above and beyond to take care of the cat. So and I wasn't very far from your apartment, so I thought, well, I'm going to just go there right now. I'm in my boots, and anybody who's been to the Bass Pro, it's a hike, dude. And by the way, get an escalator, Bass Pro. What's up with the stairs? I don't know. A store that size doesn't have an escalator. Anyway, so where I was buying the gift was like up the stairs, back in the corner, and I had to park amongst the other 10,000. They have an elevator. Yes, but one elevator for a store that's like 100,000 square feet. And then you got these why? I'll never understand. It's not like the Bass Pro is full of fit dudes. They all look like me.
Yeah, like Dick's Sporting Goods has figured it out. They've just got escalators. That's the way to do it.
But there, you have to take the stairs. I'm up the stairs up in the Gunda area, which is a half a mile from my car. So by the time I've done all this hiking in my brand new boots with little skinny socks, by the time I get to your apartment, my foot is on fire. So I take off my boot, and I have now bled into my sock and into my brand new boots. I was like, oh, crap, what am I going to do now? Because my wife, as I hang up the phone, my wife calls. She goes, well, let's just meet. We're already running late, and I have to be in San Marcos in an hour.
Okay.
So she calls me right after I hang up with you. So I'm like, bandage, put on a sock, and out the door. And I didn't think about it again until I talked to you. Because it was such a rush.
But you had no problem finding the bandages or finding socks.
I was out the door in like 30 seconds. I mean, everybody keeps their socks in the same kind of drawer, no matter who you are, where you're from. It's always in the top, and that's where they are. So I grabbed one. I saw a little foot, but they weren't tall socks. They were like footies that I just put over. I put Band-Aids in my other sock that was bloody, and then your sock over that.
Just keep the sock.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might not want it back, but it's due to be washed.
Now, Casey says, why didn't you just buy socks at Bass Pro?
I didn't know I was bleeding. I just thought I had a blister. And at the time,
$60.
I was at your apartment. My plan was to go home and change. I was going to go and take my boots off.
And your wife said, no, we're in a rush.
No, you've taken too long now. I'm going to go with your dad because we were meeting my sister in San Marcos, kind of a halfway thing. So I'm going to just ride with your dad. I'll just meet you in San Marcos if we don't want to be late. So I was like, oh, crap. So I just found the Band-Aids, put on another sock, and hauled off to San Marcos.
Now, did you just take one sock or did you take two?
I took them both, yeah. Because both socks, I was just one foot had the blister, but I was still slipping around in my boots because I was wearing dress socks and I should have been wearing my boot socks. I just didn't think about it.
Now you didn't find my drugs, did you?
Or his thong drawer?
No, I didn't know to search.
Okay.
I was legit. I probably would have stumbled on it if I couldn't find what I was looking for. But all I did was open one drawer, found the socks. Now I think your Band-Aids were like 4 doors. It wasn't in an obvious drawer. But they were literally in a package like right there. If you had ever needed them, you would have found them fast.
Okay.
But they weren't like on the top, and they were little.
Also, if you ever walk into my bathroom, because my drugs are in the closet, you can smell the drugs. Like every time I go in the
and I'd like to compliment you. On the most part, you keep a pretty tidy apartment.
Well, thank you.
You really do. You're not a slob by any stretch.
I try not to be.
You have a lot of unmarked bottles, which is weird. You have like these dark bottles with dates on them.
Dark bottles.
But it's your growlers. It's your growlers. But there's no label. You just have all of these different beers. He's got.
But
it's not haphazard. You just have a lot of different kinds of beer.
I do have alcohol all over my apartment.
And it's like small batch kind of things.
Yeah.
With like some of them are just bottles with writing on them.
Yeah, like they're from a brewery.
Yeah, no,
but
I'm not saying it's like it's gross. I'm just saying that the array of different types and styles of bottles and stuff. It's really interesting. But all in all, you keep a very tidy apartment mine would be just. I'd look like a hoarder.
Were you living in squalor when you lived alone?
Well, I lived. I was renting a room with a friend of mine. I just stayed in somebody else's big condo, so I kind of had to keep it clean because it wasn't my spot.
Yeah.
The wife could have come in. So when I was alone for that year, I did my best, but even then, it was never as neat as yours.
Now, did your wife ever come visit you at this place?
Yeah, but whenever she came, we got a room.
Okay, you got a hotel.
Things are gonna get weird.
Yeah. I always try to keep my apartment where, like, if my wife is coming, it will only take me one day to make it presentable for her.
For me, I could have that place in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Yours is, I endeavor to have the place looking like you have it when my wife comes in.
Okay.
I mean,
well, also the cat cleans when I'm gone. That's as you know.
your cat does not give a crap about me.
My cat is
That cat's
so fat right now because now this I've had the slow feeder down.
Oh yeah, she.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she came waddling up to me. I was like, oh my God. There's no self-control with that
Well,
cat.
I gave her 2 cans of food on Saturday.
It's not
Well, they're
it's
little. I was like,
it's
this
the
cat
dry
needs
food.
more than this.
It's the fact that there's dry food out all the time, and she just won't stop.
Yeah.
She's like she's got an eating disorder. If it's there, she's going to eat it.
And when I get there, it is put the food down and get the hell out.
Yeah,
She's
I don't.
like,
I ain't looking for
Was it
anything.
screaming at you?
Oh man,
The cat-
She screams
she hears
until you
me-
put the food down.
She hears the door, so she hears me putting in the code. And when I open the door,
okay,
she's 1 foot behind the door, like,
Yeah, they
you're late,
recognize
bro.
those sounds. They know
You're
what
late.
those sounds are.
And takes me to the kitchen and is like, "Food's up there, bro. Let's go."
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Well, glad to know that Rob was able to find my sock drawer and did not find any of my
Couldn't
unmentionables.
find any decent porn though.
No, I
No
keep it
paraphernalia,
all.
Nothing. You're good.
I keep it all on the secret computer that's locked. Locked
What about
away.
your complete collection of Wii magazines that you said you had?
I don't even know what Wii magazine
Oh,
is.
you liar!
I really don't. What is that? What is Wii?
Oh, Wii?
Yeah.
O-U-I? Wii? You know,
Oh, like a French porno like a
well,
Wii?
Yeah,
Like that?
the-
Okay,
remember
okay.
it was always right
Wii?
next to
I know what
Jugs.
you're talking about. Yeah,
You had
yeah.
Jugs and Wii was high class.
No,
That was
no.
It was the upper echelon of your gas station porn.
I was against that kind of porn. Like
Jugs.
I'll be honest. Like some of the when in the age where I was growing up, that kind of porn like repulsed me because usually the women were ugly. Like you couldn't find good-looking women to do the filthy things that they were doing in those magazines.
No, you couldn't find. No, you're
Now,
you ever
like-
taken a good look at like Vanessa Del Rio?
Now
Like,
you can find hot chicks
she
to
was
do
like the hottest porn actress out there, and like, oh, okay.
hot chicks will do anything now. Ask Joy Taylor. They'll do anything now. But
Allegedly.
but back then, like
Oh yeah.
hot girls did Playboy and Penthouse.
And Penthouse was on the edge. They were the.
Yeah.
But back
then-
then, you would have to go to like your local convenience store, your ice house, and you'd hang out with the weird dude that worked overnights, and you could look at Jugs and Wii together.
Yeah. All right. We got to hit a break. Plenty more where that came from. We'll actually talk about the Cowboys. We got the playoff picture is set. We'll talk about that. And we got college football playoff games coming up in just a couple days. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a stall on 35 on the frontage road southbound at O'Connor. It's blocking the left turn only lane. On 151 eastbound Loop 410, disabled vehicle off to the shoulder. And far east side of town, we've got I-10 eastbound from FM 1518 to Trainer Hale Road with some road work taking up the left lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's orchard.com.
The Gomez Law Firm is one of the most trusted names in personal injury law across the state of Texas. We have Jose here with the Gomez Law Firm to share what makes working with your firm different than others in the area.
You know, we pride ourselves as being an open line of communications. We don't have an automated service. You're not going to ever dial our phone number and get some robot on the other line. You're always going to get a person 24/7. Our principal office is here in San Antonio. Mr. Gomez was born and raised here, practicing law here in San Antonio in his community for 50 years. There are not many attorneys that can say that.
Thank you to the Gomez Law Firm for continuing to fight for our community. The Gomez Law Firm is San Antonio.
If you've been injured, if you've been involved in an accident, you've been involved in a car wreck, call the Gomez Law Firm.
Visit joegomezlaw.com. That's joegomezlaw.com for one of the most trusted names in personal injury.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
At Round Table Pizza, we believe in the craft of making great pizza. Inspired by the honor, valor, and revelry of the Knights of the Round Table, our superior pizza and commitment to quality and authenticity have earned the reputation of pizza royalty for over 60 years. Round Table Pizza's signature ingredients, like our made-from-scratch dough, 3-cheese blend, and toppings all the way to the edge, create your perfect pizza. Our tradition of quality reigns king. To find your nearest location or to order for pickup or delivery, head to roundtablepizza.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
It is playoff time. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. You know Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Be like me and 5 million other happy players winning money watching games with their Pick'em game, where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. You can cook up fire entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoff long. You can even take football and basketball and mix them together. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with my promo code STAR, and deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code STAR. Sign up today.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, of course, all the reaction from the final Sunday of NFL action, and that means what coaches are on the hot seat. Mike McCarthy watch officially in effect. And, of course, Ryan Nagel returns from his long vacation. The Blitz, Monday at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
Drifting through the wind, of course.
All the time.
Have you ever seen the American Beauty movie?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's not what I think of when I think of that movie, but Mina, what's her name? Mina Sorvino?
Mira Sorvino.
Mira Sorvino.
Yeah.
I got my mind's in a bad place this morning. I need to get.
And
I need to. It's the testosterone.
That's what it is.
Is that what it is?
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, it puts stuff in your mind, man.
It's the throbbing testosterone.
That's all you think about.
That's the brand I'm using.
Yeah.
Throbbing.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. It's the brand's actually called We.
It's called We. And I'm on the throbbing.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys season mercifully came to an end yesterday.
Man, I thought they were going to just pull it off.
Did you want them to?
Yeah, I mean,
it's the Commanders or the Redskins, whatever, the Washington
Yeah.
football team, whatever the hell they are.
Yeah,
the W.
They did lose their last two of the season, but look at the bright side: 3-3 in division this year. It's not.
Yeah.
terrible.
Woo. There's that. Yes, there is that.
Now, what else was bright side?
Merchandise is half off.
Micah got his double-digit sacks, so he joined the Dwight Freeneys of the world.
So he got more expensive.
So yeah,
okay.
but I don't know if you. Yeah, he got more expensive. Yes, he did. Trey Lance can actually kind of play quarterback.
He can, but he won't be doing it for the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's see.
You know what my biggest takeaway is from the last?
Dalvin Cook's going to be ready any minute.
Oh yeah, he's ready.
He's still got the offense down.
God, I wish we had a chance to talk to McCarthy again because that's what I would ask him. Like, hey, what are you thinking about unleashing Dalvin Cook?
Has he gotten the offense down
It's
yet?
so crazy that they were asking about that every week, and I was like, guys, he sucks. That's why he's not out there. He's not a good player.
But the good news is he survived longer than Zeke did.
That's true.
He's still here.
Oh, is he still on the roster?
I thought he was still on the roster. Zeke's not, but
So I think if I were looking to take away a positive from the latter half of this season, I would say I feel a lot better about the running back situation than I did early in the season when it felt like nobody was good. And I think when I thought nobody was good, it's because...
So you think Dowdle is good?
I think Dowdle's good enough. I think, and I don't think Dowdle's an every down back, but I think Dowdle's good enough to be one of two guys that carry the ball for
Don't you? And I like Dowdle too. He's a violent runner. I like that. But don't you think there's a lot of guys like him? Don't you think that if I really wanted to, I could probably find exactly what he's doing for half whatever he's going to ask for?
Yes.
So that's why I'm in on what he did. But, dude, I'm not paying a penny more than what my budget says I'm going to pay for running back. And obviously, by what we did this year, I don't care that much about it. So, yeah, he had a great year. I'm not paying a penny more, So I get the sense if he wants to get paid, it won't be here.
Yeah, because he is now an unrestricted free agent.
And I like him. I'd like to see him. What would you pay a Rico? In the real world, what do you think? $5 million?
Sure.
Do you think he would get that on the open market?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's my fear. So I'm just not going to pay any more than that. I just don't feel like it's that necessary. Well, maybe it absolutely is. But
now, I agree. I mean, you could, and let's also consider he's 27 years old.
Well, there's that.
And, first of all, if it takes you to year 27 to start being good, boy, I don't have a whole lot of you.
And I didn't want this conversation to end that Dowdle sucks and he's not worth it. Because
suck.
he is good enough. But when I look at all the things that the Cowboys are going to have to deal with, paying a running back is so far down the list.
The problem is, you've got so many holes and only so many draft picks that it's going to be difficult.
Putting it mildly.
Who was what did they trade? They traded for. They gave up a fourth round pick.
Fourth rounder
for who?
Mingo.
Oh my God!
He's a big body. That's what they kept saying yesterday. He's got a big body.
Did we ever come up with what his season end stats were?
Well, they threw to him like 3 times yesterday.
In the last game of the year where it didn't matter.
No, it's not about that. It's about how you can burn a 4th round pick creatively because we've done it twice now.
16 targets in 8 games.
Yeah, baby.
With the Cowboys.
And I think 4 of them came yesterday.
5 receptions on the season. Still 0 career touchdowns in 2 NFL seasons. But hey, 4th round pick.
So if you, again, going back to so they're 1 less draft pick. So I can't imagine spending my collateral too high on a running back, though I do think they're going to draft one. I think they have to, just to have a cheap back. You just got to find one that can pass block, if there's such a thing. And if you can find that, you draft him. If not, you pay what you can for some vet that's willing to take a little bit. And I think Dowdle's probably earned a little bit of money. If I'm him, go get paid.
Well, let's hit a break, and when we come back, we'll look at what the rest of the roster, what's shaping up coming into this offseason. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working a stall on 35 on the frontage road southbound at O'Connor. It's blocking the left turn only lane. On 151 eastbound Loop 410, disabled vehicle off to the shoulder. And far east side of town, we've got I-10 eastbound from FM 1518 to Trainer Hale Road with some road work taking up the left lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
George gets justice. No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
If you're tired of drinking the same old beer, good news for you, friends. Karbach Brewing has you covered. They've got something for everybody in their lineup. No matter what you like, they can improve on what you've been drinking. Whether it's a Hopadillo, a Love Street, or a Crawford Bock, they've got something for everybody. And Karbach has one of the leading IPAs in San Antonio, Hopadillo IPA, an iconic Texas IPA packed with the bitterness of hops from around the world that the hop monster craves. And one of Karbach's leading brands, the top seller in San Antonio, in fact, is the Love Street Blonde. It's a state of mind, a San Antonio state of mind. It's a Kolsch-style blonde, hopped delicately with floral German hops. This beer has the clean malt profile that you're looking for. And if you're used to drinking cerveza, they've got that as well. The Karbach Cerveza Especial is right for you. Like I said, something for everybody. And when you're in Houston, make sure you go check out the brewery, check out all the beers they have on tap. But while you're here in San Antonio, you want to try something new, why don't you try out a Karbach?
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
Joe, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
James Fletcher with San Antonio Sports Star here. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? The playoffs are here and time is running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states including Texas, Missouri, California, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promo.
Let's go! Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Circling your head. Contemplating everything you ever said.
It's me about 12:45.
That's right. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1. I had a hard time going to bed last night. I think it's like such a mess. Like anytime you go on any kind of vacation, and I went 5 days in a row without working, which is the longest stretch I've had since I've been here.
Basically,
certainly,
yeah.
But then you throw in travel and time zones, and it's really hard to get back to normal.
Oh, and the older I get, the more it affects me.
When my alarm went off this morning, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! This can't be real." And then Rob said during the break, "Oh, my nap today is going to be glorious." And I'm telling you, Bubba,
cold outside, windy.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
It's going to be a nap.
I'm going down.
Yes. The Cowboys offseason is going to be an interesting one because there's a lot that's going to change. Let's just face it.
Is there? But now, real. If I think it's either going to be a whole lot or not so much.
Dallas has 22 players set to hit free agency.
Yeah, and I think there'll be probably 3 that leave that people will remember. The rest,
I think maybe the biggest question is DeMarcus Lawrence.
Oh yeah,
that's the big, because I would say
he's gone, man.
You think so? He's gone.
What?
Okay, well,
unless he restructures, there's no way that money needs to come back because output does not match and hasn't for a couple of years. He's done.
So Zach Martin, we assume, is going to retire.
Yep.
I expect to hear some sort of announcement in the coming days. DeMarcus Lawrence is the other guy that you would consider I don't know if you'd consider him a high end the way you just said that, but I would say the other.
There was a time that he was, but after a minute, you could no longer justify. Even Zimmer would not justify. The thing is, what he does aren't driven in stats. You can't judge his performance by stats. He does other things. I don't buy that anymore.
Now he is 32 years old, and depends on it. Again, I think if you think that if he's still got prime years, then I guess you consider that with Martin. He's 34. I think what we do need to consider is this: if he does decide to come back, I can't picture a world where Zach Martin decides to come back and play another year and does it somewhere other than Dallas. I don't think that will happen.
you're probably right. But of all of them, remember, he was the one that last year kind of pulled a fast one, like, hey, man, pay me. So I do think that there's a little bit of a mercenary bit to him, far more than Travis Frederick. And, when we think of the great ones, who went on to the Jets? Left tackle. Left my brain.
Tyron Smith.
Sorry, it's Monday after holiday. Once he left, you kind of felt like that didn't feel right, but it looked okay. I wouldn't be surprised if Martin played some. He won't physically. I don't think he could. But I don't put that past anybody to get another paycheck. I just don't put it past anyone.
There is an interesting decision to make about backup quarterback because both of your backup quarterbacks are now out of contract.
What would you do?
Sell the team.
With Cooper Rush. What would you do with Cooper Rush? Because
I think I let Cooper Rush walk because I think Cooper Rush is probably now going to be paid like a
there you go.
Like a
he's the most valuable backup
he's
out
gonna
there.
He's going to be paid like a Gardner Minshew. Like he's now suddenly he becomes like a bridge guy.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
No, I agree with you. I would
you have
like
too much
to think,
invested in starting quarterback.
Exactly. But I do know that I have a starting quarterback in Dak Prescott that is a bit fragile.
Yeah.
Highly paid, but fragile. He's had trouble completing a year. He's missed a lot of games. And if I feel like I can retool this and that the 7-10 was a product of injuries and not so much ineptitude, I kind of got to pay Rush. I kind of got to pay him at least for a couple years if I think I can turn this thing around fast. And I know Jerry, he probably thinks he does.
Yeah, he probably does think he does.
Would you go in with a brand new quarterback behind Dak Prescott, knowing the guy was wearing a boot to go fishing? Now we're dealing with other stuff and other different kind of injuries. So I don't know. I don't think it's the kind of money I'd want to spend because I feel like this year, once Dak went down, all hope was lost. And I kind of feel like that with most backup quarterbacks. When you lose your starter, cash in your chips, man, it's over. You just don't get to win anymore when you lose your quarterback. So is paying a backup even worth it?
I think, yes, you need to pay a back. I think, first of all, the Cowboys need to use a late round pick on a young project quarterback.
I think they should do that every year.
I don't disagree. I think rather than pay a guy in Cooper Rush who is now looked at like maybe he's ascending to be more than a backup.
Do you? Maybe. I think he's probably the highest paid non-aspirational quarterback out there. You know what I mean? The highest paid quarterback. Minshew might still aspire to be a starter. I don't think Cooper Rush has any aspirations other than be a really damn good quarterback. And you got about 4 games.
Good backup, you mean?
Yeah, damn good backup quarterback that can give you about 4 games of solid averageness.
There are going to be a handful of guys this offseason that you can, I guess you can kick the tires on and see who ends up making the most sense. I'm going to say a name, and you might laugh at me when you say it, but if you say, okay, Dak's going to be out for 4 games, who gives you a chance
other than Rush
to win some games? Yeah.
Okay.
I would take a look at Jameis Winston.
Oh.
Jameis Winston will certainly lose.
Lord, deliver me.
He will at least lose you one of those games, but he's also like he ain't scared, and I like that.
He ain't scared. The one thing I appreciate about Jameis is he's a quarterback that ain't afraid to wing it, and I like guys like that. But there's something about him personally that I just don't like.
You think he's a fraud?
I think he's a fraud.
Yeah.
I think he says and does. He has a "what would a quarterback do" wristband, and he thinks when sums up what would a quarterback do right now, and he does it even though he doesn't mean it.
Do you not get kind of that same vibe from Dak?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
No. It's funny how you bring that up. Yeah, but I think
it's
Dak
like the
has
Russell
done it
Wilson
so much.
thing.
Yes,
like
that he's done it so much that it's now I think he actually believes it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Jameis believes it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
The other guys that are going to be available as backups, presumably.
That's a good point about Dak, though. You're right.
Gardner Minshew is going to be a free agent. I wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys looked at him. Jimmy Garoppolo will be a free agent.
Minshew I wouldn't be upset with. Garoppolo, now we're starting to get into skill set issues. Like, I don't know if Garoppolo's even got it physically.
What about Carson Wentz?
I'm not against it. I think as long as it's a non-aspirational, as long as Carson now fully understands your job is now you're a crash test dummy in every sense. You're a second-team quarterback. You're a mentor.
I don't
you're
think
a helper.
he thinks anything other than that.
I hope so. But if that's him, yeah, I'm down.
I guess my concern with him is apparently he's just like so disliked in locker rooms that it's like that's worrisome. And I don't know where Dak stands in the locker room these days, quite frankly, so that's not ideal. Although I guess you don't want someone who's more liked than your starter either. And then there's guys like, to me, like the lower tiers are like guys like Mac Jones and Mason Rudolph.
I wouldn't have a problem with either one of those guys.
You know what I mean? They're your backup quarterback.
Yeah, so,
but I do want to see them draft a young project, and it might be like a Trey Lance type, like a guy who's just got some good tools and not much else. And just see what comes of it. But that's something that they're going to have to address. They've got a couple more things we're going to look at on the other side, including one that I think is very important. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic. Plus, get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right. So we're talking about the Cowboys next season. What are the moves to make? What happens with Jordan Lewis? What happens with Eric Kendricks? And does the Overshown injury impact those moves?
Wow.
I think those are moves that are going to need to be discussed. I think a move that is going to need to be discussed probably more than a little bit is Brian Anger is a free agent. He's one of your more important pieces, it feels like. He kept you in some games that you probably...
How much do you pay upon him?
I don't know. I don't like.
I don't know, but so I feel like I should.
I mean, I feel whatever the highest paid punters go for is, it feels like that's what he should get, right?
Do you feel like I can find another one, though? Do you feel like you across the length and breadth of this world, somewhere in Australia, there's some dude kicking in the backyard that I couldn't go find with a flight? You know?
What I'm telling you is no one appreciates great special teams until you don't have them.
I wholly agree. I do. And I'm not anti-paying Anger. But again, I go look at my list of needs, and you're right. Anger has earned it. But can I really afford to overpay a punter?
I mean,
the moment I sign Dak, I can no longer overpay anybody. I can pay you what you're worth plus 2%. You know what I mean? I think that's the kind of situation he's got himself in.
And, of course, you also have Brandon Cooks, who is going to be available. I think that ship has probably sailed.
That sucks, too. He should have been more. But I guess every team he's been on for brief shining moments.
He is a mercenary.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what the Cowboys didn't do is what everybody else who's ever had Brandon Cooks did, is trade him for a first-round pick.
Trade him for something better.
Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, oh, Brandon Cooks, we've got him. Let's trade him for a first-round pick. The Cowboys didn't get that memo and failed to trade him for a first-round pick.
Can you see Jerry at some point starting to paint Dak as a villain?
Not in the next year.
Not in the next year, but at some point he starts going, if I wasn't paying my quarterback all this money, I'd be able to sign these guys.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at what the excitement. Remember, and these are obviously very different situations. I'm not knocking Dak when I say this. I don't mean it like in the way it's going to come off as, but the excitement when the Browns signed Deshaun Watson, I mean, Browns fans were over the moon that we finally got a guy, and now it cost. It was an unprecedented contract, is what it took to get a quarterback like that version of Deshaun to Cleveland. And after 1 year, it was like, okay, remember, he didn't even play the first year. After 1 year of playing, it was like, okay, that wasn't ideal, but hey, there's probably some rust. And then the next year, it's like, what the hell is this? And now, you get to year 3, and it's like, dude, you either take less money or you're gone.
You suck.
Yeah,
man.
You're not good at football. So I think we're just at the very beginning of Dak. Like, okay, well, it sucked that he got hurt. He didn't look great before he got hurt, but it was a down year. Okay.
I agree, but
I don't think we're close to Jerry pointing the finger at Dak and going, "What the hell are you doing?"
And losing Anger ain't it. But at some point, there's this attrition that will be very apparent. At some point, it's coming that we just start waving goodbye to guys, knowing full well we'd love to keep you. We just can't because our quarterback's making $48 million a year. So, and I agree, Jerry's not. But at some point, you think he might. I doubt it, but it's going to be very apparent to everybody in the room. The reason these guys are leaving is because that guy's getting paid.
So this is where the wheat meets the chaff, because you're going to have, if Dak is not an elite quarterback, you're going to know real quick. Because once these guys are paid, and Josh Allen's a good example. If Josh Allen was not an elite quarterback, the Bills would be a mess right now because they've lost so many guys that they shouldn't be good. You've got to have a guy who can carry you.
Absolutely.
Mahomes, same example. Tyreek Hill just walks away and you're fine. All right, we'll talk playoffs next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
Riding the work with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville. South Texas College Football Headquarters. Wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Let me ask you a question. Is your roof ready for anything? Well, Stevens Roofing, a locally owned company, has been serving our community for decades. Whether it's a commercial project or residential, or repairing your old roof, or maybe installing a new one, they've got you covered. And now Stevens offers solar. Stevens Solar Solutions can save you money and energy. Stevens Roofing, quality craftsmanship, solar solutions, and local expertise under one roof. Call 210-785-0994 or go to stevensroofing.net.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOCAL to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOCAL for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOCAL for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings.
America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 11th. C.J. Stroud, Christian McCaffrey, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets on sale at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've cleared a couple of our trouble spots. That stall at 35, frontage road southbound at O'Connor, and the stall at 151 eastbound Loop 410 is cleared as well. Starting to fill in along 90 eastbound, Montgomery over to Hunt Lane, and 1604 northbound is slowing down from Braun Road on up to Hausman. Still have this road work set up on I-10 eastbound between FM 1518 and Trainer Hale in the left lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Cowboys fell to the Commanders yesterday, 23-19, ending the season 7-10. Now the focus shifts fully to head coach Mike McCarthy. Will he or won't he? We'll wait for Jerry Jones to tell us. The Texans close out the regular season with a 23-14 win over the Titans, ensuring the Titans get a #1 pick, and the Texans end with 10 wins. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Centergenix Testosterone and Weight Loss. CentergenixHealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rolling on through, baby. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We've been doing sort of a in memoriam of the Cowboys season, which is now dead and gone. R.I.P. What's your best guess on what the final call is on McCarthy?
I think he's going to stay. I think he's going to be kept. I think that there's other things that in play that do affect McCarthy, because I think right now Mike Vrabel is a very hot property. We saw the Patriots fire Mayo. I think they're chasing, if they don't already have a deal in place with Vrabel. I think the Jets would love to have Vrabel, and I think if Jerry was going to let McCarthy go, if not him, who? And I don't think it would be a coach that hasn't done it before. I think it would be someone that has been around the block a time or two. I think Vrabel would be front of the list. So if it's not Vrabel, I think McCarthy's probably the best option. Now, if I'm McCarthy, I drive a hard bargain. I ain't coming back. I'm getting a raise. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm not coming back. If you want me back, you're going to have to pay me a little bit, because I think there's also a market for McCarthy.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, the team is actually better. The younger dudes got better, even though they might not have won the games. And we saw some improvement in some places that we didn't expect. And I think that Jerry has, over the last month, has kind of admitted to some of the faults has fallen with him. The over his skis on the offensive line, I think, was a real telling thing when Jerry said that he takes a little bit of blame for that. So I think he's earned it. Would it shock me if he was fired in the next 10 minutes? No, not at all. But I do think that because there's just not a lot of options, no really hot dude floating around that seems obvious and evident,
Is there another coach who fits the role or fits the mold that you're talking about, like a guy who's done it before but wouldn't seem like a retread? Because there's only one that I can think of besides Vrabel.
No, I can't think of anybody else, but I'm sure there's fairly.
Brian Flores interest you?
It would be the right hire. It would be. I mean, you've swung for the fences offensively for so long.
Yeah.
Go level up on defense. It's cheaper. It's easier to level up on defense. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I just don't think Flores and Jones would ever work together very well.
Yeah.
Flores is a hardcore dude.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure he'll take Jerry cutting him, at the knees outside the locker room after a game. I just don't think Flores would deal with that very well.
I mean, you might be right, but yeah, it's that's the one name that I was like, okay, that's a guy, because I'm with you. I don't think a first year head coach is going to work. I just don't. I don't think it can work.
It's just too much of a job. I don't think that, I'd love to see a Kevin O'Connell type, but you don't have to have a lot of experience. But I do think you need a little bit, because this is Masters level crap you got to deal with in Dallas.
Let me ask you about a couple other guys before we move on from the Cowboys and these free agents, because we talked about Zach Martin, we talked about DeMarcus Lawrence, we talked about Rico, we talked about Cooks, and we talked about the backup quarterbacks. I mentioned his name, but what do you think of Jordan Lewis? Like, what's the?
I think he's earned it, man. You can plug him in. He can play both.
But
sides.
You're already paying two guys.
No, and he's probably. But again, I think if you're going to hang your hat, pay a little bit more to guys like Jordan Lewis, and not a little bit more to Mozzie Smith, or go find other dudes. But the guys that can perform, good teams hold on to them, and Jordan Lewis can play just enough to be kept around. Now, I'm not paying you starting money.
Right.
But I think I'm playing you slot money. Who's the best slot corner out there? What's that guy getting paid? That's what I'm saying. That's about what I'm saying. Go find that money, and I'll pay you. But obviously, the players know it. They all know. Jordan Lewis knows. All the other ones that are up for a contract that no matter how good I did this year, until Micah gets paid, and he's going to get franchised for the next 3 years, this team is under tight budget restrictions. I mean, there's just not going to be a lot of raises to be dealt unless we see some shocking goodbyes. And I think, like, the D-Law money, that I don't think a lot of people are accounting for that availability, but I do think it's going to be there. So that'll help bringing Lewis back. But I think of all the guys on defense, Overshown has earned another year wait and see. And let's see how it works out. And if it does work out, he's going to have to get paid. It's not going to be but I think the Cowboys need a budget for that because when we saw him, he looked like a playmaker that could be a Cowboy for 4 or 5 years healthy because of the way he offsets Micah. And you got to figure Micah's going to be the other dude that's going to get overpaid of all the rest. So I got to hang on to some of these guys.
What about Eric Kendricks? No? Okay. Let me ask you about these guys, defensive front guys. Osa?
Gone. Oh, no, you know what? Of all the dudes he might be the only one that's overplayed his pay.
Okay.
He's had a good year.
Chauncey Golston, gone?
Well, gone, stays. There's a lot of guys look just like you who can do what you do.
Carl Lawson?
Same thing.
Linville Joseph?
Same thing. There's a lot of guys who can do exactly what you do, but maybe for less.
Okay, now offensive front guys. Chuma?
I like him.
You want to keep him?
He's played his way up. He's better.
And Brock Hoffman? I think gone.
Yeah,
I don't think he's very good.
Yeah, I think one of the problems with Hoffman is he's had to play too many roles, and we've lost him. We don't have any time to. You're a jack of all, but a master of none.
I don't know what he is.
We don't have time. So you're right. But you know what? I think he's going to be a good lineman someplace else for a long time.
I think he'll be.
You know what I mean?
I think he'll be a rotation piece for. I don't think he's going to be a consistent starter in the league.
Okay, last night the big tackle that comes in as the tackle eligible for Detroit. He was a Cowboy for a couple years, and you knew he was just good enough to be on a team, but he was never going to get a starting role. He just wasn't, and this is going to be Hoffman. We're going to see Hoffman for 10 years playing for somebody else. We're going, man, I remember when he was a Cowboy, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure what, I think I'm with you. I think there's going to be a lot of attrition just because of the money situation. I don't know that any of these guys have, outside of Brian Anger. Oh, you know what? There's one other guy that I've got. What about Kavontae Turpin?
He's a genuine weapon.
Are you going to let him go somewhere else?
But here's the thing about guys like Turpin. Great teams have those guys. Good teams don't. You know why? Because they've invested other places. Great teams can afford to have a Kavontae Turpin.
He is very much a Darren Sproles type.
Yes.
It's awesome if you've got him, but what do you how do you pay him?
Because I can survive without you.
Yeah.
But if you've got him, he is such a weapon that a great team always comes up with a guy like him. Good teams have to blunder into him, but they don't go seek him because they can't afford him.
This is, again, and going back to what I talked about Brian Anger, when you have good special teams, you don't really you tend to take it for granted. Mm-hmm. And then when it's gone, you're like, dude, why can't we find someone to return a kick?
And you know what? Maybe what you're saying is a better way to say it than I am. But I do think when you look at great football teams, they have those guys. And I don't know if they got great because they had them or they were great and it allowed guys like that to get great because they had the room to flourish. I don't know. I know Kavontae Turpin, you put him on a really good team, suddenly he's the kind of guy that wins a game for you.
Yeah.
That just because he's been in that kind of situation to go do it. And we saw it with the Cowboys a couple of weeks ago, but the moment those guys do that, they become the Tyreek Hill, get paid, and guys start chasing them. And I can't afford to pay you any more than I was paying you as a third-string wide receiver, which is what I'm going to have to pay you.
Yeah. All right. We've got plenty more to discuss. Jack says, talking pro football, but I've got to hear AJ's take on just how good the SEC is after these bowl games. LOL. I mean, what are we basing it on? Like,
what have you done for me lately?
Georgia playing with a backup quarterback and still almost winning? I don't know. I mean, it's
the powerhouse that is the Pac-12, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's certainly been a disappointing season for it. But again, all that matters, bowl games don't matter. All that matters is the playoff games. But certainly, there's only one SEC team left, and it's the one that wasn't part of it last year. So, but I think Georgia, you put a little asterisk next to.
Again, it wasn't a great game. Notre Dame just played a decent football game against an offense that was unable to move the ball.
Do anything. And it's real easy to point and laugh at Alabama, which what a pathetic showing by them, quite frankly. And now, to be fair, the first 10 minutes was played in an insane monsoon, and for whatever reason, they just could not hold on to the ball. But when you turn the ball over 4 times in 5 minutes, you can't win. So you can say, well, it proved that Alabama never belonged, which that's fine. I wasn't beating the drum for Alabama to get in anyway. But if you're going to do that, you also have to look at what Ole Miss did and go, oh, maybe they were better than we thought they were. You know what I mean?
It is 100% portal. You don't ask me who's playing. Tell me who's winning. Tell me who's playing.
Yeah.
You can put on an Alabama jersey, but if you're wherever, your key positions, it's third stringers, second stringers, and freshmen. It's an exhibition. It is not a competition. I mean, we keep score, but really, does it matter that the third string quarterback or Milroe? That was disappointing, but I have not watched one, maybe 2 compelling bowl games this year that really the teams were loaded, everybody was playing, and it was about getting better for next year or whatever.
It didn't happen much.
I just didn't see any of that. It just wasn't that thrilling. So, yeah, I'm mad at Bama for the loss, but does it really matter? No.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll talk about these playoff matchups that are now set in the NFL. It is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I got to tell you about Carbach. Something that they didn't have when I was up in Las Vegas. That's disappointing. Although I think you can get some of the seltzers and stuff there, but you can't get the usual suspects. You can't get Crawford Bach for sure. You can't get the Hopadillo or the Love Street, but you can get it in San Antonio. They've made sure of it. They prioritize San Antonio as a market. They said we're going to make sure our beer is available all over the great city of San Antonio, and they've done just that. So when you are out, you're out at a restaurant, you're out at a bar, you might be thinking, oh, they're not going to have Carbach. You'd be surprised. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to drink the same old, don't do it until you at least check and see if they've got the Carbach. You're gonna be impressed if you haven't tried it yet. If you are an IPA fan, you're gonna love Hopadillo. If you do like something a little lighter, the Love Street is really a great entry beer into craft. It's a great, easy drinker. The ladies seem to love Love Street too. That is their best-selling beer overall. So obviously it's at the H-E-Bs, it's at the liquor stores. But when you're out and about at bars, restaurants, ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting today, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks. The unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now, sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first. On your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades at no upfront cost. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first, sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star here. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? The playoffs are here and time is running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states including Texas, Missouri, California, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promo.
Pizza craving? We've got you covered. At Round Table Pizza, we've been crafting pizzas with premium, high-quality ingredients for over 60 years. From our made-from-scratch dough to our savory toppings piled all the way to the edge. Find your nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
It's showtime. Let's do it. It's fun time. Here we go.
South Texas home of the 12-team college football playoff is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All of the matchups are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear every game on South Texas' first and only FM sports station. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
The playoffs are set. The Kansas City Chiefs took the day off yesterday, and I'm glad they did, quite frankly. For me, listen, I'm pretty aware of what's going to happen here. The Bills, as great as this season's been, the Ravens are a bad matchup for them, and that's probably who they'll play in round 2. And then if they somehow get past that, they'll have to go to Kansas City, and
it's over.
You know, it's 3 of the last 4 seasons for the Bills have ended at the hands of Patrick Mahomes.
Well, at some point, and this will define Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? At some point, it will be a defining time, and we're running out of time.
You're right. But what I'm glad didn't happen, and this is why I'm glad Kansas City took the day off yesterday, I did not want Joe Burrow in these playoffs.
Did you get the sense that Reed and the rest of the Chiefs were kind of doing the rest of the league a favor? Like, all right, guys, we'll take this one.
I mean,
we'll take this one in the teeth.
Everybody should be like,
so none of us have to deal with Burrow and Chase.
Nobody should want that guy in the playoffs.
So we're not going to play anybody. We're not even going to practice this week, and we're going to spot them 24 points.
We're going to miss our flight. Like, it's going to be a mess.
But it did feel like a massive screw you to the Bengals. Like, we're not even going to try. There will be no possibility of you going to the playoffs.
No. And you know what I like about this season? And this is, I wish the NBA could do this. Every team that made the playoffs this year, every team had double-digit wins.
As it should be.
There was a team this year with double-digit wins that missed the playoffs, the Seattle Seahawks. 10 wins, no playoffs. It's rarely like that. Usually there's some scrubby team that gets in. Like, all of these teams are pretty
But, normally
solid,
those
quality
teams that get in with less are hot. Normally those guys that get there late have won 4, 5, or 6 straight.
Well, that would have been the
Bengals.
Bengals.
You're kind of afraid of them.
That would have been the Bengals.
I wasn't afraid of Seattle. Seattle would have been a first round out. So while it feels right that these are winning teams that have been successful throughout the year, there's always, it feels like a team like Cincinnati that squeaks in. They're like, oh, crap, I got to deal with these guys at home? Like, they're hot. This is not their team is better than their record. And Cincinnati was better than their record. But that was the only one. That was it.
I think the dark horse team that made it this year that I could see scaring somebody is the Chargers. The Chargers, they draw the Texans in round 1. I think we all kind of agree the Texans are not very good.
No, they're going to beat the Chargers. They're going to beat the Texans.
I think so, too. And then the Chargers, then they would play the Chiefs.
That'll be over.
And the Chargers have played the Chiefs tough.
Yeah,
like, of all the teams, that's one team that's, like, kind of scary.
They play the kind of game that it's not going to get away from them. They're not going to let the Chiefs get away from them. They're going to keep it tight and keep snap count down, or total snaps down. But we all know there's such a chasm at the top of both conferences. They're so far away. Even though the Chargers are in the playoffs and have, 10 wins? They're so far away to me from Baltimore. They're so far away from Buffalo or Kansas City to me. And it's not by record. It's just by skill set to me.
I mean, did Kansas City blow your mind all year?
No, but it's still Kansas City, and they only lost one game because they chose to. You're right.
Well, they didn't choose to lose to Buffalo.
Well, no, but the one game that they chose to lose that one. But yeah, Buffalo and Kansas City are that much better to me than anybody else. So they're good, but they're so far away.
In the NFC, the Lions,
it's even deeper.
The win last night was huge for the Lions. They get home field throughout. They get the 1 seed. They get a bye. That game last night was for everything. And Minnesota now has to go on the road, play a Rams team that is well-coached, has a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
That you have to beat. They won't give it to you.
Yeah, the road got a lot tough. And then if they do win that, they have to go back to Detroit. So the road for Minnesota got way tougher last night. The rest of the NFC, the Eagles feel like because they were really the only team who got a chance to, sit on their hands and rest in the NFC last week. And they get a Packers team that just seems broken right now. The Bucks and Commanders, I don't think either one of those teams are good. I guess somebody's got to win. So to me, the Eagles are almost I'm almost willing to pencil in Eagles-Lions NFC Championship. I'd be shocked if it's not.
Yeah, they're so far. They're so far ahead of the rest of the NFC, both those teams. And it's not that they're that far ahead of the Vikings, but
the Vikings' road just got so much tougher.
Yeah, but what I just saw, it's going to be so much more difficult for them. And Philadelphia might very well be a better team, but I just don't know if they can get out of Detroit. I think if Detroit is playing in an NFC Championship game, that field, that team, that city is going to be on fire.
Detroit is so much about physicality and punch you in the face. I don't know that works against Philly, is my concern.
Well, that would be
for
the
them.
one team in the NFC that it wouldn't.
Right, you know what I mean?
And,
Like,
and if it doesn't, God help them.
So
because
when you go around and bully everybody, I don't know that they can bully Philly. I don't know. But it's going to be I'm fascinated to see it.
Well,
I'll say that.
It feels imminent. It feels like everything is just going to be kind of an hors d'oeuvre for that, because that might very well be the Super Bowl. I don't know, but if that's what we get, that's exactly what I want.
So if I like the 1s and 2s, Chiefs, Bills, Lions, Eagles, if you had to pick a team outside of those, is Baltimore, is that?
Man, Lamar looked so good yesterday. The Zay Flowers thing's worthy of watching because that will matter. But Baltimore could win it all. Man, that team yesterday could beat anybody.
Saturday they played.
But on Saturday they could have beaten anybody. So yeah.
The odds now for the Super Bowl, the Lions are the favorites, plus 280.
I like it.
Chiefs plus 350. Your next favorite, the Baltimore Ravens, 6-1.
Yeah, they look so good. And because Buffalo didn't have to do crap, it's hard for me to judge. But what have you done for me lately? Baltimore took a lead. They got a lead by a nose. So, yeah, I buy it.
Bills plus 650 right behind them. Eagles right behind them, 7-1.
Because they didn't have to do anything either.
Vikings dropped to 16-1. Packers 20-1. Bucks 25-1. Chargers 28-1. Then you get into the long shots. Commanders and Rams are 45-1.
Well, I like that. This is to win it all.
To win the whole thing. Broncos 55-1. The Houston Texans 80-1.
Talk about stumbling into the playoffs.
But the longest of long shots, talk about stumbling into the playoffs. Broncos country. Steelers country. Let's ride. 90-1, Russ.
And, what is it, 3 years in a row now that Tomlin has stumbled into the playoffs?
That's what they do. Yeah. We all knew, even when they were winning early, we all knew they weren't winning a Super. They're not that kind of a team. They're not a Super Bowl winning team. But there you go. They are the longest shot to win the to win the Super Bowl this year. Your early lines for these games. Chargers -3 in Houston. Ravens -9.5 hosting Pittsburgh. Dude, that can't be real.
You got to score points. You got to be able to score a point. Russell Wilson looked like he dropped the playbook on the way into the building. That was terrible.
9.5?
Well, what I saw this weekend, it's like the air is leaving the Pittsburgh balloon, and all you're hearing is because that was awful, man. I mean, think about the offense we've seen them put together. Pickens can't even – he needs some stickum. There's something going on with this team. They've forgotten about Najee Harris. He doesn't carry the ball. Pickens can't hold on to the football. Russell looks like the Russell that got run out of Denver. I get it.
Listen, man. I've seen Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. I ain't laying 10 points with him.
Without Zay Flowers, pay real close attention to that because that seriously matters.
That to me, that's a wild number. Buffalo -8.5 hosting Denver.
Denver's
Philly
hot.
Philly -5.5 hosting Green Bay.
That doesn't inverse the lines from the Philly game.
What do you mean?
Well, the way the Packers lost the game to Chicago, I know it didn't matter. You just lost to just about the worst team possible. I mean, that's not only it's a rival game.
Well, the Eagles B team was able to beat the Giants.
So yeah, that didn't matter. But when you lose a game like the Packers did, that's talk about stumbling in.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I don't like them at all.
Washington and Tampa -3.5.
It's going to be the most fun playoff game of the weekend.
It probably will be. It's the least skilled playoff game.
Yeah,
It'll probably be the
wild,
most fun.
Man, they're both going to swing for the fences.
And then Minnesota, a 2.5-point road favorite against the Rams.
I don't like that at all.
I think I would like the Rams plus 2.5 there. I don't like a road favorite.
What do you make of this move about teams possibly trying to trade for Kevin O'Connell? I mean, that thing that started popping around yesterday.
I wouldn't be shocked. And if I'm the Vikings,
what does that tell you about the Vikings? That's even a rumor.
Well, what it tells me is it goes back to Brian Flores. They're one of the only teams that has like a viable NFL coach on their staff.
I guess that's
so.
true.
If someone said, "Hey, we're going to give you first-round picks for Kevin O'Connell," I'd say I would go to Brian Flores and say, "Hey, man, you want a job? Because we're about to get a couple first-round picks, and we can't do it unless you're willing to be our head coach. And if you can do that, it's not the worst thing." I personally would rather keep Kevin O'Connell.
I'm telling you, too.
I think he's a brilliant, brilliant coach. I think he's, he's in that McVay, Shanahan conversation.
It's funny we talk about him like that, and in one breath previous we go, well, but he could go into LA and lose.
He could.
I mean, and I don't think I'd be all that mad at him. But.
Because this is one of the few coaching matchups where I don't feel like he's got like a massive edge.
Right.
But I can't get over the fact that, and let's realize how awesome what he's done is. Like, the fact that they were playing the game on Sunday Night Football last night to be the 1 seed in the NFL, and all season long, Sam Darnold has been their quarterback. That team was picked. Their season win total was 7.5. They weren't supposed to win 8 games, and they won 14. Like,
stellar.
It's incredible.
But on the other side of it, you feel a little bit like the king has no clothes yet last night, that the Vikings were finally exposed, that Sam Darnold was finally the Sam Darnold we all knew he was, that when the pressure got tight, the sphincter affected the right arm, and he was overthrowing and looked like the dude that we saw in Carolina and in New York and all of that. Now, I'm not saying it's permanent, but he did pick about the worst time to have his worst game of the year.
Yeah, for sure. But I still like Darnold. I just don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like road favorite Vikings in LA.
Well, I agree with you. And we just said it. I wouldn't be mad at O'Connell if they lost, just because of the season they had and losing last night and all they've done, and have your balloon pop like that, so you have to hit the road after 14 wins. Man, you just go. We've done all we can, and now we're in the plus column no matter what happens.
Yeah.
All
right. Let's hit a break. And we'll talk about what the Patriots did yesterday. There is moving and shaking already. And I don't know if that affects Mike McCarthy. I mean, I guess if Mike McCarthy were to be let go, there's one more job opening that they could be looking at him for. But we'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Starting to notice some slowdowns right around 1604 northbound Braun Road up to Hausman. On 90 eastbound Montgomery to Hunt Lane, that's slowing down. 35 northbound at Casson Road, southwest side of town, that's a stall. It's off to the shoulder. And some road work. I-10 eastbound FM 1518 to Trainer Hale, left lane closed. I'm Debbie Alphaser, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? Changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
It is playoff time. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. You know Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Be like me and 5 million other happy players winning money watching games with their Pick'em game, where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. You can cook up fire entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoff long. You can even take football and basketball and mix them together. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with my promo code STAR, and deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code STAR. Sign up today.
Something amazing is happening. Technology is working harder, faster, and more reliably. It's delivering results that work. But who makes technology work? CDW. We're a full-service technology solutions provider, advising our clients and designing customized solutions so they can reach their goals and do amazing things. CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
George gets justice.
Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Hey, this is Greeny. We'll tackle the NFL and dive into the NBA today at 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
A little bit of breaking news. Doug Peterson, the Jags coach, has been fired.
Black Monday continues.
By Jacksonville.
Gone.
So another job opening.
So we got New England. That is awaiting. Jacksonville.
And the Jets.
And the Jets, which is, they've already been interviewing.
Yeah.
What else do you think will happen today?
I don't know. I'm trying to, Tennessee's they're not gonna make a move yet. It's too early in the game. I think an interesting one is see what happens in
Chicago.
Well, they fired Eberflus already, so they already have an opening. I'm interested to see what happens in Vegas.
Oh, he's done.
And I'm really kind of interested to see. You know what? There's two more. I'm interested to see what happens in Cleveland.
I think Stefanski's safe.
What about the Giants?
Oh, he's done.
Brian Daboll's done. I think he's a good coach. I think somebody's going to end up getting a good coach.
I think he's a hell of an OC.
Okay. And yeah, I guess the Saints are going to have to find a coach too. So there's a lot of head coach openings because they fired Dennis Allen way a whiles back. So a lot of openings, not a lot of great candidates.
Well, some of these teams can afford to go coordinator. Some of them can. Some of them are so far away that we'll just grow together. We'll start over. We're going to have a young quarterback. Some of those teams can't afford to go young. I don't know. I think New England tried to go young and realized we can't. We need somebody with a little bit more experience in the growth of an entire franchise, not just coaching one side of the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that they realize that they need to go get a dude that has been around the block, that can deal with general managers and owners and all of that, the likes of which an OC, a DC has never had to do. So I think that's a failed mistake. But I'll give Kraft the credit. At least they realized fast. We failed. Let's end it now. Why? Well, let's not try to learn on the job. We don't have time for this. We got a young quarterback that we've got to grow. So I appreciate that. Cowboys cannot, if they fire McCarthy, go with a young OC. They can't do a Jason Garrett hire.
I think also part of New England is I think if New England realized that I think Drake May being good made the Patriots it forced their hand on Mayo.
They had to speed things up. He's better than expected, and Mayo is not ready for this.
We can't waste time with a coach that is maybe or maybe not good when we've got a quarterback that is going to be our quarterback.
Completely agree. We got to go get a guy that's been here and done this.
So, but God, their roster is just so dreadful. I like Drake May a lot, and they've got nothing.
But they got money to spend.
They've got $131 million in cap space, which they should be able to get whatever the hell they want. But they just don't. Now, and that's the other thing. They went from having the first pick yesterday to the fourth with that win.
I'd rather have the fourth pick, man. I would much rather have the fourth pick and just take the guy I want than have to deal with Shedeur or Hunter. No, the fourth pick, I'll get exactly what I need.
I'd rather have the first pick and have people bid for to trade with me.
I agree with you that it wouldn't amount to more, but if I'm a new coach and a young general manager or whatever else is going on, I would just be like the Texans. I'd just soon have the dude fall in my lap. That's just the guy that I got, and it makes the draft easier, and if things go south, I can blame it on picking fourth, and if they go well, I look like a genius.
Now, Chicago's kind of in the opposite space because Matt Eberflus got fired mostly because their young quarterback wasn't good. And I don't know if Caleb Williams is going to be good long term or not. I know their offensive line is terrible, but Caleb Williams in year one stunk. Now, I'll say what I always say. If you are here's some breaking news too. Brian Daboll back as Giants head coach.
Good for them.
Joe Shane will return as GM.
Oh, see, that's the failure right there.
So the Giants not changing
the
anything.
Price. The dude that let the guy that gained 2,000 yards leave got to keep his job.
Wow. Well, and the guy who said Daniel Jones, let's bring Daniel Jones back. Well, all right. But Eberflus, I think they were like, well, because Caleb Williams wasn't good, they said we got to find someone who can make him good. When you are bad as a quarterback your rookie year, if you're worth a damn, you get better in year two. It's just the way it works. And if you're great your rookie year, generally you regress.
You look worse because your team was better and you're playing tougher.
Well, and it's also the NFL adjusts to you.
Yeah,
They're not going to let you do the same stuff to you over and over again.
If McCarthy gets fired, the first call Chicago should make should be to McCarthy.
Oh, that would be a good spot for him.
The first call I would make would be to McCarthy. So I think McCarthy knows that.
I think Jacksonville, you can say the same thing.
Agreed. So suddenly,
any place where you've got a quarterback that you're committed to, and you know you need someone who can teach him how to play football, and I think now some of these other jobs, the Jets, I don't know who my quarterback is. I don't want Mike McCarthy.
But you're exactly.
That's a waste.
Jacksonville and Chicago would be ideal landing spots for him.
The Saints. I don't know who my long-term quarterback. I mean, I like Carr now, but I don't know that McCarthy can do much for Carr at this point.
No, that doesn't feel right.
The Raiders, I don't want Mike McCarthy because I don't know who my quarterback is.
And if I'm McCarthy, I don't want to work for Davis. I've already dealt with another owner like that.
But those two teams, the Bears and the Jags, are committed to their quarterbacks, and they need to make those guys better. Trevor Lawrence regressed this year. That's a bad sign. But unfortunately for the Jags, they are still married to Trevor Lawrence. They need to make Trevor Lawrence work. They need someone who can get in there and make him work. I think that's a good spot for a guy like McCarthy. The clock's on you, Jerry.
I agree. He's non-committal. We just saw something pass by. But what he did say was he sees no reason right now to make a decision, which, you're going to get pressed.
Well, here's my question. Those teams can call
he's
McCarthy
a free agent
today.
Yeah, pretty well. I think he got a couple of days, but yeah, I think Jerry.
The season's over.
And you wonder if Jerry's whole ploy here is, I'm never going to decide. I'm just going to let somebody come hire him. And I go, well,
that might be what it is.
It is. I'm going to fix the glitch by just letting things play out.
Because there's some of these guys, like, if you want Ben Johnson, you can't. Like, you've got to wait. You're waiting on him.
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask permission for Detroit to talk to him. Detroit's likely going to say no right now. But although they may owe him a little bit of because he did them a solid last year coming back. Maybe they say, yeah, if you want to talk to him, talk to him. But Brian Flores, you can't talk to him right now.
I think Aaron Glenn might be a hot commodity today.
Yeah. So there's some guys you can't talk to. Mike McCarthy, you can talk to. If I'm Chicago, I'm Jacksonville, I'm already on the phone.
I feel like I would be.
And say, hey, man, like, I know you don't know what's going to happen in Dallas yet, but we want you here, and we're willing to commit to you. And I would almost guarantee that Jacksonville or Chicago is willing to offer more from a year standpoint than Dallas is.
Without doubt, yes.
Like, I could see Jacksonville saying, we'll give you 4 years. Jerry ain't giving him 4 years.
No, and if I'm McCarthy, I'm asking for minimum 3, 2, and you get a team option on the third. But I'm not doing a year to year.
No way. I don't think he needs to. So that's we better see something quick on this McCarthy thing, because I think he is one of the names that's going to be looked at. And if you're a Cowboys fan, you're probably frustrated with Mike McCarthy, and I get it. But if you're a Bears fan, Mike McCarthy's looking damn good right now. When I've had Matt Eberflus for the last several years,
think of the cavalcade that's come through Jacksonville.
Oh,
past several
God.
years.
Or I mean, if you're the Jets, even, it's like, we'd like to have a real head coach.
What do you think the bidding war is like for Vrabel? Because you think of the Jets and you go, that's the dude. That's the dude.
Well, until
Jets,
the New England job opened.
Until the New England job opened. You go, well, that's the place for, he was born and bred. It has to be the locale. I think that there's at least 1 or 2 other teams out there that have called his representation. I think before we're said and done, Vrabel's going to be a top 5 highest paid head coach of all time. I mean, we're talking double-digit millions.
But when I asked about Cleveland, what do we think Cleveland does? I mean, he's an Ohio guy, and I don't know enough about my assumption. I know he's like an Akron area guy.
Vrabel?
Yeah,
see, I don't know enough. I just think of him as a Patriot.
To me, he went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
That usually I think Akron usually translates to Cleveland fandom. So if he grew up a Cleveland fan and he gets a chance to go back home, maybe he wants to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But again, I see Deshaun Watson and I go, no, I'll pass. I'd much rather. I'll take my chance with Drake May. But also, if I'm Mike Vrabel and I see Aaron Rodgers, I go, no, I'm good. Although I did see reports that it looks like the relationship between Woody Johnson and Aaron Rodgers is, quote, irreparable.
You think?
I can't believe it.
The best thing that could have happened to the Jets, and really the rest of the NFL, is Aaron Rodgers having a great game to close things. Not a great game, but this best game of the year to close things out, because it gives him the opportunity to drop the mic and go away.
Yeah.
Like,
please do.
I can still do it. Put me in the Hall of Fame in 5 years. I'm going to go host Jeopardy.
He's going to be a Hall of Fame. Like, that's never in doubt. It's just a matter of, like, can he do this? The answer is no. He's not an NFL quarterback anymore.
At least in his mind, he had one game. What do you throw, 3 touchdowns?
I think so.
Three touchdowns. He got his 500. He's in the club. He can drop the mic and say, I did it. Now, could I do it again? Of course I could do it again. I'm going to choose not to.
Yeah.
Now he has the opportunity to do that. If he'd have been pulled in the second quarter like he had pulled himself the week before, I guarantee you he'd have come back next year.
And this is my just my opinion. I don't know for a fact because his contract runs through 2026, but my assumption is if Aaron Rodgers goes away, Devante Adams goes with him.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, the Jets would have the choice of keeping him if they wanted, but we've seen Devante Adams, when he's not happy with his quarterback situation, is a pain in the ass.
He loses his joy for the game like Jimmy.
Yeah. And I don't want to deal with that. So I would certainly be shopping Devante Adams if I'm the Jets, if I don't plan on keeping Aaron Rodgers. And also, if I were the Jets, I would not plan on keeping Aaron Rodgers. That's just my personal
it's
opinion.
over there.
Like, I think he's he's a loser.
There's only a couple of guys on that team that should feel safe. And, Garrett Wilson should stay. Sauce maybe. But other than that, man, if you're on that team, this whole page is about to be turned.
I think so, too. I'm not even – you know what? This is what I've seen of him this year. I'm not sure Sauce Gardner's all that good.
I said Sauce, and as I said it, I thought, I'm not even sure I want him.
I don't think like Quinnen Williams, that guy I know is a monster. I don't know if Sauce Gardner is good. I'm not sure.
I was told he was.
Yeah, and he's called Sauce. He's got to be good. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if his name was like Rex Gardner, we'd be all that excited about him.
Bob, get out there. See, Bob Gardner ain't. No, he's just
no. But Sauce, he's in the Wild Wings commercial. He's got to be good. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no pro scout, but what I've seen of him, it's like,
he's got a name like Sauce. He must be doing something.
Yeah, it's a very saucy name. Very saucy name. But, lots of decisions to be made. And this is the other thing, Tyreek Hill. I think
he'll be back in Miami next year.
Boy, he is. You talk about a pain in the ass.
He's a bit of a pain in the ass. He is. He's just he's worth it though. But he'll be back in Miami. I'm not going to trust anything a dude says right after the last game. Take a deep breath.
Yeah. You're right, but he asked out of the game yesterday.
I know.
There's some bad looking stuff there.
Well, I'm sure because we thought Tua was going to play. I mean, up until Friday, I fully expected him to play. And we know what they look like without him, and they looked like a team without Tua. I mean, and if you're Tyreek and you're like, dude, I thought he was playing.
Yeah. And listen, man, I was of the belief that Tua was just a guy in a system. When you see that team without him, it's like maybe Tua's better than I thought he was.
Well, I'll say this: I think McDaniel made a tactical error when he built his offense that is so reliant on that quarterback. I've never seen an offense that mattered more to a rather unique skill set than this. I mean, you had to do some very special things and drop a very special offense to have your 5'9", concussion-likely quarterback to keep him upright and playing in a game. And without that guy, that offense just doesn't work. And I'm not sure I agree with that. You need to have something that will cross paths with your backup.
It doesn't seem, or you need to be more equipped at backup than what you are.
Whatever the case, man, it is such a night and day instance that they knew before they walked out on the field that there was no way they were going to the playoffs. Without Tua playing quarterback, we ain't going.
Aaron Rodgers yesterday said that he would be willing to play for another team. If the Jets decide, I won't have my feelings hurt, or I won't be offended if they move on from me. Would I play for another team? Yes.
Of course he says.
Is there another team that would look at Aaron Rodgers and go, you know what, let's try it?
Yes.
Who?
I think I'll bet there's 3 or 4.
Oh my God!
You just can't get past that. I agree with you, but he's now Russell Westbrook. You see him and you go, well, he's still got something.
Like, what team would it make sense?
You would have to be on a team that is so laden with veterans that there just would be no ripple, or a team like, I hate to say it, but like Dallas, where I don't care what kind of circus you bring, you ain't going to be as big a circus as the team already here. And I don't think there's any other place but Dallas. But general managers gravitate to that. If he wants to play again, he will play again. Now, money will play a role, but if he's willing to pay for about $20 million, I have no doubt in my mind he'll be in the league next year.
Yeah.
Well, such is the NFL.
Watch him go to Buffalo as a backup.
No, that won't happen. That won't happen. You know what wouldn't shock me? Now, I'm going to say something that will sound crazy up front. What if the 49ers decide we're not going to pay Brock Purdy, we'll carry Rodgers for a year, we'll draft our quarterback of the future and use him as a bridge quarterback?
It wouldn't be that outrageous. It just wouldn't. That's why you go, will somebody pay him? Yes.
And if you don't sign Brock Purdy, I could make a case that that's not the worst decision.
New coach lands in Jacksonville. You know what? You need to be around a winning quarterback. You need to be around a dude that understands a lot of this stuff.
way.
I'm just saying, because you're going to have to
extended
decide.
Trevor Lawrence.
I know, but we extended him, but the new coach coming in is going to look at this and go, there's a reason why the dude got fired.
But
I'm saying there's a
Rob,
place.
Is the new coach going to have any say on what happens with Dak Prescott here?
Probably not.
It's the same situation. I mean, Trevor got paid like 2 weeks before Dak
What
did.
I'm saying is, if you've given up on your quarterback, even though he's overpaid, you go get a guy like, I can bench him and I can put in Rodgers. At least I know that guy's done it before. It won't happen, but it's possible.
Steve says the Raiders will take Aaron. Yeah, they probably
that's
would.
another one.
Well, all right, Morning Huddle 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting today, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Pizza craving? We've got you covered. At Round Table Pizza, we've been crafting pizzas with premium, high-quality ingredients for over 60 years. From our made-from-scratch dough to our savory toppings piled all the way to the edge. Find your nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment you'll get with the experts at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. Things, people, love.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2706.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2706. That's 800-575-2706.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at HEB today.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Still working that accident at 151 eastbound, right as you approach Loop 410, west side of town. This crash causing almost a 20-minute delay. It has you stop and go from Westover Hills. Starting to slow down along 35 southbound, FM 3009 on down to Randolph Boulevard. 90 eastbound also filling in from 211 over to 410. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Cowboys fell to the Commanders yesterday, 23-19, ending the season 7-10. Now the focus shifts fully to head coach Mike McCarthy. Will he or won't he? We'll wait for Jerry Jones to tell us. The Texans close out the regular season with a 23-14 win over the Titans, ensuring the Titans get a number 1 pick, and the Texans end with 10 wins. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rolling on through. We're at the halfway mark. 8 o'clock on the Morning Huddle. We've learned today that Brian Daboll will be back as Giants head coach. Doug Peterson will not be back as Jacksonville head coach. And my guess is, and I don't know if it'll happen during our show, but there's more news to come.
Oh, I'm sure.
Plenty more news to come.
Dominoes will fall all day.
It's one of those.
I asked you this earlier, and I don't want to go off on a tangent. How much of a candidate do you think Sark is? Do you think that he's getting any calls from pros?
No.
Just the buyout would be too much, and he's got too good of a gig.
He's got too good of a gig right now.
I agree with you.
I mean, there's a handful of jobs that pay you the kind of money that make you – and remember, in college, these guys have full control of their roster. Mm-hmm. They've got everything. You know, so I don't think he would be a guy they'd look at. We do know now that the top 18 picks are locked in the NFL draft, and the Tennessee Titans will have the number 1 overall choice.
Because, I wonder who they're going to pick because they're set at quarterback.
I don't think they're set at quarterback. I don't think they are, yeah. Now, remember Brian Callahan has had the number 1 pick before when he was an OC in Cincinnati, and that ended up working out well because Joe Burrow, good at sport, and he was there through the early years of Joe, and
that's why he got a good gig.
Yeah. Quite frankly, he needs to send him a Christmas card. But I think Tennessee could also consider trading down because I don't think any of these quarterbacks.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback. I think they're going to. Now, Levis might not be their quarterback, but he won't lose his job from a rookie.
Oh, I think they'll draft a quarterback. I just don't know that they have to draft the first one.
I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round.
I do.
I think if they. Is there a single quarterback coming out that looks any different than Levis did coming out?
No. I've said this, and people got mad at me on Twitter about it. Not one quarterback in this draft, not one, would I spend a first-round pick on.
I'm with you. But I don't – and that's not saying one of these might not be a Bo Nix. That's not it. I just don't see a first-round grade is what I don't see.
No, and that's like you know what? I'll tell you what. When I watched that Alamo Bowl and saw Shedeur in person, I was like, this is supposed to be the number one guy? No thanks.
Really? I mean, I've not seen him in person. I don't know what his demeanor's like, what his follow-through, all the little things that I kind of grade quarterbacks away from, A to B, can you throw a dart? I don't know what he looks and acts like.
My Twitter blew up this week over, the targeting, not targeting in the Arizona State-Texas game, and before that, I had said something about I wouldn't draft, I don't think any of these guys are first-round picks. And you would be shocked that there are people who, like, Carson Beck guys came out of the woodwork, and they're like, I don't know what you've been watching. Carson Beck's the truth. Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, there are defenders of all these guys who are like, this is the guy.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But I just don't see any of these guys as that.
Bobby Hurley was a hell of a college point guard. I mean, yeah, I see a lot of good college quarterbacks. I'm not taking anything, but the pro game's different, brother. It just is.
Every single one of these guys has given me a reason. Like, if I said, okay, answer a question for me, none of them have done it. And people got really upset at me about this. I didn't like that Cam Ward sat out the second half of a bowl game. I would have rather you not played in the bowl game at all than started it.
And he played it due to an NIL agreement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was contractual obligation, so he would get paid.
And then he stood on the sideline and watched his team lose.
Well, he's a mercenary. He's a merc. You think he had any interest in the Miami long-term program health?
So that turned me off on him. I hated what I saw of Shedeur. Carson Beck has a blown-out elbow. Jalen Milroe, my God, could he have, dude had a chance to, really say, okay, all these other guys are blowing it. Look what I can do. He was worse than all of them. It's just a disaster.
He's still the one I'd take over all the rest.
Milroe?
Yeah, he'd be the first quarterback I'd draft.
You know who I would – and no one talks about him as the first pick or the first quarterback or even a highly drafted quarterback. I'd rather have Jackson Dart than all those guys.
No, I'm not saying I wouldn't. Of all of the
Jackson Dart feels like he could be the next Bo Nix.
He could be, or he, my perception of who he is obviously very different from who he is because I've seen how his teammates react to him and they like him. But my perception of him was much like what's his name, Rosenfels. What is the guy that was a first-round draft pick?
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen. My perception of him was that initially, and I haven't been able to get over it. But watching how he played at Ole Miss for 2 years, and his teammates love him, I just kind of felt like he was a prickly dude that if things didn't go his way or they weren't winning, then everybody was going to be upset.
Well, that's how I feel about Shedeur.
You might be right.
Shedeur throws an incomplete pass, and he's yelling at his receivers. His receivers are yelling at him. It's just like, dude, this is not what I'm looking for.
Because I know Dart's got far more physical capabilities than Bo Nix. I mean, he can throw a ball. He can spin it better than Bo ever could. I look at Milroe, and he's got everything, at least from the neck down, that I'm looking for. An arm, mobility. He wins with a big-time program.
That was deep ball, yeah.
All that stuff, but there's something that's a little weird about him.
And Coog says the same was said about Lamar Jackson. No one knows anything, LOL, which is true. Now, two things are true about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson went 32nd in the draft because the Ravens saw that they thought he could turn into something. Lamar Jackson was not NFL ready when they drafted. Lamar Jackson was such an inaccurate passer in college. It was almost embarrassing. And I think the Ravens don't get enough credit for developing Lamar Jackson into what he's become.
Well, and also
Lamar Jackson didn't just show up.
No.
If you thought that this was going to be what Lamar Jackson was, then you should be working in the NFL because I would have never thought Lamar Jackson could be like a 65% passer.
No, but the league has also come to the Lamar Jackson style of football. I mean, by his talent and his abilities, it brought the league to his kind of skill set. We're used to, until Lamar and maybe Vic prior to him and maybe, I don't know, Well, it doesn't matter. But you didn't want a quarterback to run that much because you couldn't afford to get him hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and up until him, there's only been a few of the quarterbacks that you legitimately weren't afraid to use him as a running weapon. And up until then, you were going to wear out your quarterback. Well, now the league has come to the point where, I don't mind wearing him out because there's other guys who can do this too. That's the only reason I see a difference.
And Jose says you hate a QB holding a wide receiver accountable, but if Brady, Aikman, and others do it, it's fine. No, I don't. I don't hate that. He's talking about Shador yelling at his receivers. The problem for Shador is I got to watch the game, and it's Shador's fault. He's yelling at guys for stuff. He's holding the ball too long. He can't make a decision, and then he's yelling at his receivers. They're clearly not on the same page. And I'm not the OC at Colorado, so I don't know exactly whose fault it is. But from what I saw, it looked like Shador was a big part of the problem. And by the way, the other, you could say the same, anything you say about Lamar Jackson and what he was able to develop into, you can say the same thing about Josh Allen, who was like a 56% passer at Wyoming. And like, there were not a lot of things other than his physical God-given gifts that said he could be an NFL quarterback.
Other than being carved out of granite.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks the part.
There's a reason why Josh Allen got 0 D1 offers out of high school. Not a one. And you're talking about a dude who's like 6'6", 235 pounds, and runs like a 4.6 40. Got 0 D1 offers. It's because he was inaccurate as hell. So you got to give credit to these teams that are able to develop these guys into what they've become. It's just for every Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, there's a bunch of guys who just are never anything remotely close to that.
That's the total answer for Lamar is the guy's a witch. I mean, the guy's not human.
He's
not
supposed to be as good as he is. He's developed into a incredible freaking quarterback. Quite frankly, most of the guys that are the top level guys, how many of the top level guys, like early in their, like Joe Burrow did not become Joe Burrow until his last year of college. No one knew that Joe Burrow could have been that until his last year of college. So how many guys have been like the next big thing, like what Trevor Lawrence was in college, have gone on to actually do it in the NFL recently? It hasn't happened.
No.
All the guys who are like, even as far as Mahomes wasn't supposed to be this.
No. The separation, great college players are very different from great pro players.
Yeah.
And the translation, if we could figure out why, that GM would be making $1 billion and we'd have, an undefeated football team year in. But that's the witchcraft. I don't know what the difference is or where you find it, especially at quarterback from college to pro. It is neck up. That's what it is.
It's rare that these guys anymore are like looked at from the beginning as the guy, like a Peyton Manning or an Andrew Luck, or like a guy the first time he steps foot on the field, you go, okay, that guy's going to be in the NFL. It doesn't happen very often anymore.
The thing about Lamar Jackson that's different from everybody else is Josh Allen was born to be quarterback. Lamar Jackson was born to be an athlete. If he had focused on any one of 5 different positions, he'd be an all-pro at it. I think if he'd have been forced to or decided to be a wide receiver, he'd be an all-pro. If he decided to be a running back, we saw what Gibbs did last night, he'd be doing the same things.
Yeah.
If he was going to be whatever, a defensive back, a safety, a cornerback, he'd have been great at that. It just happened to be that he got to be quarterback, and as he has grown into it, he became a great thrower as well because he's a witch. He can do anything he wants to do.
Yep. Just hard to find those guys. So the overall draft order now, number 1, Tennessee, number 2, Cleveland. I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I really have no idea.
I think it's going to be Lamar Jackson, man. Not Lamar. It's going to be Deshaun. He just restructured his contract. They freed a little bit of money.
You draft a quarterback, just not number 2.
Oh, they're going to draft a quarterback.
Not number 2 overall.
No, wouldn't be surprised. They traded that pick. They need some picks.
The Giants desperately need a quarterback at number 3. Patriots don't need one at 4. Jags don't need one at 5. The Raiders need one at 6. The Jets need one at 7. Carolina at 8. I think
they got a quarterback.
It looks like things are getting better for Bryce Young. They're at least good enough that he's going to get another chance.
They're good for 2 more years. Oh, good.
The Saints have a lot of money tied up in old injured people. Cam Jordans and Derek Carrs and Demario Davises. They
haven't hit rock bottom yet.
They've not, I don't think. And quite frankly, they probably will end up wishing that this season would have gone worse than it did because they kicked the cap can down the road for a lot of years, and it's starting to come back and bite them.
So it'll get worse before it gets better there.
Chicago, obviously not going to need a quarterback yet. I don't know what the 49ers are going to do.
They're going to pay Purdy.
They're not going to draft a quarterback in round 1. I know that for certain. Same with Dallas at 12. That's where Dallas is going to pick at 12. Dolphins are going to pick at 13. Colts 14. Falcons 15. The Colts might need a quarterback. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I know they're still hoping that Anthony Richardson turns into the next Lamar Jackson. It don't seem like it's coming.
I think the self-benching this year, his return, he was a little bit better. But I think everybody in the Colts organization knows he is not the future. He's a good bridge. I'd be real nice to him. But somewhere 3rd, 4th, 5th round, there's going to be a quarterback drafted.
The Cardinals sit at 16. I think they've got to get defense and offensive line help. The Bengals at 17 will likely be looking to replace T. Higgins, is my best guess.
Probably. They're
Although they still need offensive line help.
They need line help, but the thing is, they're not. I mean, they're drafting above their pay grade. I mean, they shouldn't be drafting this high. That's a talented team. They got to hold on to Higgins, but this was a team that's fully capable of winning, even if they didn't add another dude. They just need to be healthy with what they've got.
And then 18 is Seattle. And
Seattle, I think they're going to draft a quarterback, man.
Seattle?
Yeah.
No, they'll draft O-line.
Not in the first round.
I think they will in the first. Oh, you mean quarterback?
Yeah,
you're right.
I think Geno has proven we've seen his ceiling. We know exactly who he is and where he's going.
Historically, John Schneider just won't pay for offensive linemen, so he always drafts them. That's my projection. And remember, Connor Williams retired in the middle of the year. I think they've got to get offensive line help. So there you go. And then the rest of it, TBD. How they'll draft beyond those top 18. But the Cowboys, like I said, number 12, finishing 7-10. The only team in the league that finished 7-10 this season.
12, Ashton Genty.
I don't want them to take a running back in round 1. Yeah, well, I say that. I do not want them to take a running back in round 1. If I were a rational Cowboy fan. As a non-Cowboy fan, I don't really care what they do.
How hot it's going to be for Ashton Genty by the time we get to draft to go to the Cowboys at 12.
You know what, though? Did you see Ashton Genty play in the playoffs?
Let's not hold what he did or didn't do against him or for him. I'm just saying that I know what Cowboy fan likes. They like things that are shiny and fun. A running back the caliber of him look pretty good.
If I were a Cowboy fan, I would want someone that weighs 290 pounds or more. That would be my.
Have you seen how fast he can run?
Yeah, I want a big, fat person either on offense or defense.
Did you know he's from Dallas? Isn't he from up there? Oh,
and
man.
That's cool.
He looked good in that blue, that silver star.
Jose says, are you taking Aaron Rodgers or Cam Ward for quarterback? I would rather have Cam Ward than Aaron Rodgers. But also, Aaron Rodgers won't cost me a first-round pick.
Or lost sleep or ayahuasca.
Yeah. So the good thing about Aaron Rodgers is I know that Aaron Rodgers stinks. And I'm not willing to pay much for him. Cam Ward, you're going to have to pay a first-round pick to find out if he stinks. I don't want to be the person who does that. So that's the would I rather have Cam Ward going forward than Aaron Rodgers? Sure, he's an unscratched lottery ticket.
But when we scratch that ticket, of what you have seen in the years at Washington and now in Miami, what are the chances of long-term success?
50-50. He's a dynamic guy. Like there's some things to like.
He does you can't teach the accuracy that he's got. I will give him that.
Yeah. A lot of turnover-worthy plays. Very loosey-goosey.
I feel like so much has been because of how much it cost. And when he got to Miami, I think everything that they did was focused exactly on what he does well. And I don't think he'll ever get that again.
I will say if I were Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, I would not hate the idea of going to Tennessee because I think Brian Callahan is a solid offensive mind. Like I think that's a good place to end up. I think also being with the Giants would be a good thing. Like I think that if you're worth a damn, and if you're not, But what I don't want to do if I'm one of those guys is end up with the Raiders or the Jets. Well, if you end up with one of those places, it's like, you don't know who your coach is. You don't know.
In Tennessee, the Callahan thing was supposed to work with Levis.
But Will Levis sucks at football.
I know, but that's the reason those two were put together.
Yeah. Will Levis sucks at football. There's no.
2 years ago, he was in the same boat. Looked a lot like Cam. Not Shedeur, but looked a lot like Cam. Threw touchdowns like that on a team that was kind of built to do exactly what he does really, really well.
Yeah, and they brought in Callahan thinking that he could get the most out of him. Just like the Giants brought in Daboll thinking he could fix Daniel Jones. Some guys just suck. Like and Will Levis, Daniel Jones, those guys just suck. Like and those guys, I think Daniel Jones is going to be a pretty good backup quarterback in the NFL.
Too bad we're 4 years away of him starting someplace poorly before he learns it himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. Have I missed a break already, Vic?
Oh, we're doing just fine.
Okay, good. Whew, I just had a panic attack that because it says on the board it says break at 8:15, but that was from last time, right?
No, you're good. We're all right.
Oh, so I need to break now?
You're good to go.
Okay,
We can break
keep
now.
going or break now?
You can break.
What
now.
do you think? Break now or keep going?
No, go ahead and break now.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah,
We're
you're
only
all right,
about
man.
we're only about 4
I
minutes.
was enjoying the conversation.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
You're all right.
Listen, I'm not looking
Settle
for
down,
trouble.
You've been gone 5 days.
I'm a little rusty.
A little jumpy.
I'm a little rusty. All right, we'll be back. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting today, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
This is hip-hop icon and radio host Ed Lover. Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious, farm-fresh taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant. 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
See the best of the best, the area's top high school senior players in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. 118 All-Stars from 68 high schools will compete in the annual Alamo Dome Showdown, Saturday, January 11th, following the National Navy All-American Bowl. One ticket gets you both games, just $15, available at Ticketmaster. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. January 11th at 5 p.m. at the Alamo Dome.
Find your purpose. Find your why. At the Y, you'll find more than just a place to work out. With opportunities to connect with neighbors and give back to your community, you'll also discover a greater sense of purpose. Join the Y January 6th through the 11th for Wellness Week at any greater San Antonio YMCA location. Learn more at ymcasatx.org.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing victims of negligent drivers. When it comes to insurance companies, I hate to state the obvious, but as consumers of insurance products, we as Texans have never had fewer rights than we do right now. Over the past 20 years, our rights as Texas insurance consumers have diminished every year. The insurance lobbyist over that 20 years has been very, very successful. The result? If you're on your own, you have no chance of a fair recovery without an experienced attorney. I was licensed to practice in 1994. Over the past 32 years, I have seen the insurance company's playbook develop. Delay, deny, depose. It's not just crime scene evidence. It's a very real approach most every insurance company takes in responding to the claims of traffic accident victims. Hire someone who knows the game. Hire somebody who wins. Hire me, Jason Thompson. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up Monday on The Blitz, of course, all the reaction from the final Sunday of NFL action, and that means what coaches are on the hot seat. Mike McCarthy watch officially in effect. And, of course, Ryan Eagle returns from his long vacation. The Blitz, Monday at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on The Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
What's this song?
Look at Me Now, Chris Brown.
Oh.
There with Busta Rhymes. That's the instrumental, though.
Okay.
Sounds like me playing on a Casio.
Yeah.
You should have done this one.
I think I did.
You wouldn't have to be working here with me.
Yeah, that'd be a one-hit wonder from Rob Thompson.
Yeah. Oh, he probably had a bunch of bangers lined up.
Yeah.
I did.
One hit my ass.
But poetry.
He had a bunch of ideas. Just hadn't thrown them out there yet.
That and my inability to sing or play music. Really
That's all.
Kind of got in the way.
Yeah, but big deal on that. I went to music college. I can't play an instrument.
Look at where we are, yeah.
That's right. Who needs that?
I play the spoons.
The Colts have. I don't know that the Colts needed to come out and say they would retain Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard, but they have come out and said that.
I
now.
like Chris Ballard. I think he's an excellent talent acquirer.
Every media
Colts
guy loves Chris Ballard.
The Colts always have talent. They always have guys on their team.
Do they?
They do. They legitimately do. Not great guys, but good guys. They always do.
I think Chris Ballard's just so good with the media that he's tricked us all into thinking he's
Maybe
better than
there's
he is.
some of that. But I do think that the Colts, more often than not, the guys that they draft, I go, oh, that guy's pretty good. I like that guy.
I would like you to rank the open jobs right now from top to bottom. So I'll list them off. You write them down and you put them in the order that you think they are best to worst.
I'm ready.
Jets, Saints, Bears, Patriots, Jags, and just for giggles, let's put the Cowboys on there.
All right. And what are the
if you're a head coach, which job would you want first?
And that's the best place to
you
work.
Want to win.
Winning fastest.
Yeah, you want to have a successful tenure there. Where's the best? If you had your druthers.
Well, I would say this: the Jags and the Cowboys are closest to winning.
Okay.
So if my precursor is, am I going to land someplace with talent and a place that I can hit the ground running with dudes that I know can win, it would be the Jags or the Cowboys. Both of the owners have their own particular issues. I'm not sure if Shad Khan has any idea what's going on. And I think Jerry Jones has way too much idea what's going on. So I don't know which side there. I would say the better job if I was a young coach would be the Jags, just because I feel like I got an owner that might be willing to throw some money. He really doesn't care that much. I'll be able to do a lot, and no matter what I do, it'll look better than the guys that were here before me.
You also play in an eminently winnable
and that was
division.
The next one. And I could step into the playoffs next year with the dudes that are already on the campus. Cowboys second just because, they got an MVP runner-up at quarterback. Micah's still there. CD's there. There's a fair amount of talent there. I'll put the Cowboys 2. I will put the Patriots 3rd because I got a quarterback.
Yeah.
I land there. I got a quarterback. The bottom 3, I'll take the Bears just because I kind of got a quarterback, maybe, and there's a little bit more, so I'll put them next. And then Saints, gosh, this is the parachute isn't going to deploy, and they still haven't hit the ground yet, so I'm not sure I want to go there, but the Jets are dead last. I don't want to touch, see, or be anywhere near this program.
I will say this. If I'm considering the Saints job, I need to know what the plans are for Derek Carr. I need to know if Derek Carr, is Derek Carr my quarterback for the future?
And if they told you, yes, he is going to be your quarterback, what do you figure you got in him? 2 years? 3 years?
2 or 3 years, yeah. But, I mean, I'd like to if you've got that, I mean, how many guys on this list are better than Derek Carr? Like, Dak certainly is.
Not many. You're right. I'm not saying that it's just about the quarterback.
But, that's a great place to start. If you've got a quarterback, you've got a chance. That's why, to me, the Jets are dead last. Because they don't have a quarterback and they don't have a prospect of getting one. Whereas, like, at least with Chicago, you've got a guy who maybe he's good. I don't know if he's good or not.
Right.
But that's why I like New England more than those other jobs because I do think Drake May is good.
And you got 3 more years of no quarterback pay because you took him in the first round. You got 3 more years of this.
So if Derek Carr is go look at what the Saints did when they had Derek Carr versus when they didn't. The Saints if the Saints had Derek Carr all year healthy, they're a playoff team. I fully believe that.
I don't disagree with you. I don't, but I just feel like.
But I do think that the wheels are eventually going to fall off that thing.
Yeah, everybody's a little old and it's held together with
duct tape,
craftsmanship, and want to. But after a while, that just crumbles away.
Yeah. I'm with you, though. I think the Jets is the worst job. Even though there is some talent on that roster, it just seems like a terrible place to work, too.
But there are coaches out there who, function on an arrogance channel. They are good coaches because they are arrogantly believe I'm the guy. They're so arrogant that if you'll just listen to what I have to say and do what I tell you to do, you will be successful. And those are the guys that land with New York. Because they believe I alone can fix this.
The real interesting thing is if the 7th pick doesn't get you Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, what do the Jets do at quarterback next year?
Well, I think it'll get one or the other. But I don't think
the 7th?
I would, the one thing I would emulate about a bad franchise in Atlanta is I would go both directions. I'd go pay for somebody, a body, Cooper Rush maybe, and draft one at the same time. I'd go look at what happened in Minnesota. I would have 2. I would draft one. I'd look at Atlanta. I drafted one and got another one, and I needed them both. I might go.
Then if I do that, I'm
this.
just keeping Aaron Rodgers because you already paid for him.
Well, see, I would if it was anybody other than Aaron, but Aaron himself, not the quarterback, but the Aaron Rodgers has to go.
But he's paid for. He's paid for.
I'm going to have to pay to make him go away, but he can't stay. If it was anybody else. Any other quarterback getting paid like that, he would be my guy, and I'd go draft another one. But this is Aaron Rodgers. This is special circumstances. He's got to go.
All right, we'll hit a break. When we come back, losers. We've got a lot of losers to discuss. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We still have this trouble spot on the west side, an accident at 151 eastbound. That connector to get onto Loop 410. The connector ramp is partially blocked with this wreck. It is causing about a 15-minute delay. And pretty much most all our major freeway systems are filling in, slowing down for your morning rush hour. But if you guys do see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line. We'll check it out. That number, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
South Texas College Football Headquarters. Wonderful time of the year for fans. Bowl season is no exception. The biggest and best matchups this bowl season are brought to you by Ewald Kubota, the Break Room Bar, and Smoky Mo's Barbecue. Hear them all on South Texas' first and only FM sports station, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Guess what? Discover's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You heard right, 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. You're stuck in the past. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/credit card.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks. The unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at HEB.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Roundtable Pizza, we believe in the craft of making great pizza. Inspired by the honor, valor, and revelry of the Knights of the Round Table, our superior pizza and commitment to quality and authenticity have earned the reputation of pizza royalty for over 60 years. Roundtable Pizza's signature ingredients, like our made-from-scratch dough, 3-cheese blend, and toppings all the way to the edge, create your perfect pizza. Our tradition of quality reigns king. To find your nearest location or to order for pickup or delivery, head to roundtablepizza.com.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hi there, I'm John O'Hurley. You know our pets are beloved family members. But sadly, though, there are so many dogs that get euthanized every day due to the lack of funding. To give them a chance at adoption, I invite you to support Puppy Food Bank. Thanks to generous donors like you, all of the food sent to pet shelters from Puppy Food Bank never comes with a bill. So please go to puppyfoodbank.org and make a generous, caring $15 donation every month. Your donation will absolutely save pet lives.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9047. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-9047. That's 800-575-9047.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. My favorite thing about Monday sucks in general, but my favorite thing about it is that we get to do losers.
You lose. You are such a loser. You're a bona fide schmuck.
Time now to find out who blew it this weekend. The losers.
You bunch of losers! Look who's back. It's the loser.
I'm going back to a better class of losers.
With AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hello, losers.
We always like to take a look at what's going on in the world of sports, see who blew it over the. I guess we'll go over the last few.
Yeah, we
got some time to go back to because I haven't seen you in a while, so we can kick around some of the big losers of the last week or so. You want to take the lead here?
I'll go the low hanging fruit. Jet fan. I don't know who these were. Who got to carry out the gigantic jet flag?
Who was in charge of that?
The giant flag that I wouldn't be surprised was actually made here in San Antonio over at Dixie Flag Company. Fine institution. Fine company. If you didn't see it, Jet fan, appreciated season ticket holder, I don't know. They marched out one of those gigantic 30-yard long, 40-yard line wide flags. And it was the Jets flag, but they brought it out upside down. So it read backwards, and they were out on the field before anybody realized it, but just kind of summed up the entirety of the season. So, Jet fan, congratulations. If you were underneath it, it looked really good. From above, it was backwards and upside down.
Yeah, not the best. Oh, Lou Anarumo's gotten fired by the Bengals.
Well,
Lou Anarumo was looked at as like a big hot up-and-comer, and they just haven't been good on D for the Bengals. So
I feel like he's just a victim of circumstance. Somebody had to pay.
Yeah, somebody had to. You can't have.
He's the patsy.
But also, I mean, dude, their offense is elite. They're 9-8. Usually, it's an easy. There's an easy way to point. I'm gonna go with Dan Lanning.
Had a bad day, man.
Is that boy? That's a hell of an understatement.
Had a bad day.
That was about as. Yes, it was a very bad day. It was very bad timing for that bad day. I thought that Ohio State was going to win that game. I did not know they were going to absolutely humiliate Oregon. And now it just makes you look back at Oregon's whole season and go, were they ever really good? I don't know.
I think they were, vaguely. I mean, as Ohio State, Ohio State came in with the appropriate amount of respect.
Well, it's one thing to beat Ohio State on your field, which is what Oregon did early this season. Clearly, when you don't have that home field edge, it's a little tougher.
The stat that just epitomized the game was Oregon had only given up 13 sacks all year, and Ohio State went and got 8 of them. Just manhandled, just battered little brother is what they did.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's real easy to hate Ryan Day, and I wish. God, I wish that I was talking about Ryan Day as a loser today. But good job by him. And it's funny because I know I certainly talk about James Franklin and his inability to win big games all the time. Yet Dan Lanning, who historically has not been a big game winner,
no,
we just kind of assumed, well, they're undefeated.
Well, it's always because Lanning always felt like the underdog.
Well, he's a likable guy.
Yeah.
So when it's James Franklin or Ryan Day and they lose the big game, it's real easy for us to kick dirt on them because no one likes them. But Dan Lanning's likable, so we just go, he'll come around. Well, maybe not. So Dan Lanning gets he gets first floor on the losers tower this week.
For me, this one I'm not sure if it's loser or absolute winning. I can't figure out what it is. But the Titans wearing the old Oilers uniform every year against the Texans.
It's loser.
I don't know if it's absolute just winning FU middle finger every year. I mean, they keep losing when they do it.
They've nothing to do with the city of Houston. It's so petty. And not to mention they're just a crumb bum organization. You've got the first pick. Like you stink, and that's all you can do is hold on to your old franchise's history. Give me a break.
I read an article that this sums it up. It's hard to be the worst team and petty at the same time.
It really is. They
do
find a way to do it. That's a good one. Ridiculous. The Alabama Crimson Tide, and I think I didn't know whether to put Kalen DeBoer or Jalen Milroe, but the biggest bet that I've lost in bowl season was on this game. So I am also on the loser wagon of this. But I thought to myself, who is going to – I mean, clearly Alabama played everybody. They felt like they were into it. Michigan was not playing guys. And who would want to make a statement more than Kalen DeBoer, who all season – I mean, listen, anytime you're going to be compared to Nick Saban, and he is going to be compared to Nick Saban for the entirety of his tenure at Alabama.
Until he puts a ring on, he will be.
But it's going to be tough. And there were already people talking about firing him. It was like he's going to want to go make a statement, and to show up and do that, I normally don't care what happens in any bowl game that's not playoff, But that was, I thought, a real spot for Kalen DeBoer to make a statement and Jalen Milroe to make a statement, and they both just completely crapped their pants.
Does DeBoer, is he starting to feel like Bob Stoops? Is he starting to feel like, dude can coach, dude can recruit, but when it comes to games that matter or people are watching, you lay an egg, man.
There is a possibility that this is the Tom Herman, Charlie Strong thing where you are really good at every level up to
Peter Principle issues
this
here.
one.
Promoted to the level of your incompetence.
And this, because I didn't mind the hire because Kalen DeBoer has won literally everywhere. And I said, you know what? The guy's a winner. Let's see him do it here. It's quite possible that this is just too big of a job for him.
Was it Vanderbilt that beat him? Early in the season.
Yes.
Okay, so I was out at a thing
Vanderbilt and Oklahoma
with a couple of big-time Alabama donors when that first loss happened back in October. Well, it was right about October, November, right?
Right after they beat Georgia.
And these were guys that I don't know for a fact whether they were donators, but they seemed to be the type that seemed to be plugged in. And they were already upset with DeBoer because of some of the things that were going on internally. He's changing some of the structures that Saban put in place, as is his right as a head coach. But if you're going to change some of the structures that have made you win, you better keep winning.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? If you're changing and you're losing, he's going to have to be very careful next year.
Yep.
He's not imminent to be fired, but unless there is a stellar turnaround, I'm talking about 10, 11 wins and we're back at it, then it'll start again.
It's tough, man. Where do you want to go next?
All right. My next one, I'm not sure, but I'm a big believer in you play to win the game. And once you start getting to the strategery part of games and winnings and losses, the Rams, I know that the Rams were in good place and they needed to be more healthy than to play, but you didn't play, you lost, and now you get a home game, but you got to take on the Vikings, and the Vikings are going to be pissed. If you're the Rams, go play to win the game, and good things will always happen if you try to win. They punted, and they're going to pay the price.
You could be playing the Commanders instead.
They could get the Commanders and a rookie quarterback, and I'm not saying they could beat them, but it just feels like you took the strategy to play, and now you got your home field, but now you got to play the next best team that nobody wants to deal with.
Yeah, well, and they're lucky that it wasn't Detroit.
It could have been.
I'm going to go with the college football playoff in general so far. There's been one remotely good game.
Mm-hmm.
The Texas-Arizona State game has been the only competitive game through 2 rounds of this thing.
I've had this debate more than once. I mean, people are kind of let down.
Yeah.
But, and you're right. But we also have to think of it in terms that are more familiar. Because this weekend coming up is like the Sweet 16 we're going to get to our Final Four, our Final Two, but we don't. You have to go through. You're going to have lopsided games in the NCAA tournament. You do. It's a 1 versus 16 seed. Those are rarely good. So,
but
in
the
hindsight,
difference
I think
is
they need to reseed. I think is the first fix to this. But there's always going to be a blowout in the first round because there is going to be, at the end of the day, a number 1 playing a 12.
But if the NCAA tournament started with 16 teams, we would expect better games.
Yes, I completely agree. And maybe the home road game is a little bit too much to ask for a team to get on the road and go play a team at home in a college playoff. It might be a little bit big to ask that.
I think it is interesting that every team that played a home game handled their business, and every team that got a bye in the first round lost.
So you want to play at home, and you don't want to take any time off. I think we're kind of learning here. I don't think a drastic change needs to be had, but I think the first fix would be let's reseed. Let's throw out conference champion. We'll accept that the 12 we got were done by one set of rules. But once we've done that and everybody's in, we can be realistic and look at Boise State and go, they're a 12 seed. I don't care what they've done. They're here. They've earned it. But guess what? You're going on the road against number 1 because you are by far the least qualified to be here. SMU or wherever else, you're also 11. Just because. Yeah. Hey, congratulations, you made it. The rules forced you in. Now you got to pay the price. And the problem with that is it'll be more beatdowns. It'll be more beatdowns. But I do think that second week we might have a little bit better week than all the roadies losing.
Like for me as like a CFP doubter, like it's easy in hindsight to look back and go, Boise, Clemson, SMU, Indiana. Did we really need this to know?
Yeah, we did because, and again, it's just 1 year. It's just 1 year. You know how long it took in the NCAA tournament for a 16 to be a 1?
Yeah.
50 years. So we're not going to immediately have the upsets. And yes, the powers are going to still be the powers. But now at least we have the opportunity for Arizona State to beat Texas. At least we now have a shot to see a team get there and surprise us. But right now, it's kind of, if you're a good team and you played at home, guess what? You get to move on.
I think Joy Taylor might have to be on the loser list because all this terrible stuff coming out of Fox Sports.
What's going on over there, man?
Apparently, Joy Taylor was cheating on her husband with multiple men, according to the reports, allegedly, including Emmanuel Acho. Which, by the way,
that's why he's smiling.
Let's also say congratulations.
Well done, Emmanuel.
Yeah,
you're batting above your pay grade right
for
there,
Joy.
bro.
Like I always wonder, like how's Joy Taylor still on TV? She sucks at this, and then the answer is, well, she's hot. So okay,
that's why we're still on air.
Yes, at least you. Now, the damning part though is she was also banging a Fox executive, and apparently. There's a quote from her that it was like, what are you going to do if you get caught? Her plan was to accuse the executive of rape.
Well, you know.
What? Yeah. He forced it on me. Dude, there's no coming back from that, dude. Nope. If this is found to be true, they need to hang her from the gallows.
You can't scream rape every time you're in trouble.
Well, you can't pre-plan rape. In a world where now we are supposed to believe women, any woman who gets caught doing this, like we have to make an example. Like we just have to. Because there's guys on the other side, like Trevor Bauer's a great example of this.
Yep.
Trevor Bauer's someone who's been accused of rape and now exonerated and still can't get a job.
Well, because he's into weird sex.
Okay. Well, Joy Taylor's into sex with a lot of dudes, apparently. That's okay, I guess.
Except Skip.
Yeah. Poor Skip's offering like 7 figures, and no one will do it with him.
Or a handy from his hairstylist.
But
can make you a star.
If that's true, there needs to be like, I don't know what, but I guess it's conspiracy. I don't know what the crime is. That's got to be a crime, though. Like, the plan is for when I get caught to just say he forced it on me. Dude, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's over for her.
Loser.
Over for her. Do you think anybody's ever going to hire her again?
No way.
No
They
way,
shouldn't.
man.
I don't care how hot she is.
Even if it comes out that she didn't do this, she did enough other stuff where you're like, dude, I can't have you in my building.
The other guy, I think, or the other, you know what? I'm going to save that loser for the next segment. We haven't talked any NBA, but I do think there's an NBA loser too. So we'll do that in the next segment as we roll into the final hour of the Morning Huddle on a Monday. You got, oh man, we're starting the week off right. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville. South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting today, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right, you can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOON5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOON5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code MOON5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
America's best high school football players are coming to San Antonio. It's the Navy All-American Bowl at the Alamo Dome on Saturday, January 11th. C.J. Stroud, Christian McCaffrey, and Micah Parsons played here. Join us for a day of exciting football to see the stars of tomorrow at the Navy All-American Bowl, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by Valero. Fan Zone opens at 9:30 a.m. Tickets on sale at the Dome box office and Ticketmaster.
Find your purpose. Find your why. At the Y, you'll find more than just a place to work out. With opportunities to connect with neighbors and give back to your community, you'll also discover a greater sense of purpose. Join the Y January 6th through the 11th for Wellness Week at any Greater San Antonio YMCA location. Learn more at ymcasatx.org.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together.
jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back, I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
James Fletcher with San Antonio Sports Star here. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? The playoffs are here and time is running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states including Texas, Missouri, California, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promo.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We still have this trouble spot on the west side, an accident at 151 eastbound. That connector to get onto Loop 410. The connector ramp is partially blocked with this wreck. It is causing about a 15-minute delay. And pretty much most all our major freeway systems are filling in, slowing down for your morning rush hour. But if you guys do see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line. We'll check it out. That number, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
The Cowboys fell to the Commanders yesterday, 23-19, ending the season 7-10. Now the focus shifts fully to head coach Mike McCarthy. Will he or won't he? We'll wait for Jerry Jones to tell us. The Texans close out the regular season with a 23-14 win over the Titans, ensuring the Titans get a number 1 pick, and the Texans end with 10 wins. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Did you hear Trey Lance's Here We Go?
Yeah.
It wasn't nearly as good.
No, it's not as strong, but it's better than Cooper's.
Well, yeah.
Cooper's not
great. You should
great.
be able to adapt to your own Here We Go.
No, that's the cadence. That's what that's their thing.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. You know who else should have ended up on the loser board? I don't know if it's I think everybody involves a loser, actually, in this case, the team and the player. The Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler.
Don't get on a man who's lost his joy. We all endeavor to keep our joy.
Well,
and think about how sad he must be.
Emmanuel Acho got joy, and so did that Fox exec.
Well,
everybody seems to get joy except Jimmy Butler and Skip Bayless.
And think that that's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. A lot of people, if you were here for the last segment, we were talking about what's her name? Joy
Taylor.
Joy Taylor. And you don't want to talk too bad about Joy because her brother's kind of a badass. But he might come find you and bend you into a pretzel. But I don't want to derail us. Keep moving. I was about to go someplace, and we got stuff to do.
Jimmy Butler, they asked him, do you think you can find your joy here? And he said, probably not.
And it takes $40 million. And even with all that, he can't find his joy. How sad for him.
Now, I've heard this before, that playing in Miami is not like playing anywhere else in the NBA. They push their players harder than any other team, and with that, and this was kind of the case in New England. But here's the deal: when you are pushing guys, and you're known as that organization who we practice more, we practice harder, we go the extra mile. That's all fine and good as long as you're getting positive results. The Patriot way only works when you're winning. The Patriot way, that's why the Patriot way failed in Houston, because they tried to bring in a bunch of guys who do things the Patriot way, and then they weren't winning, and everybody was like, what the hell is this?
It's always Jimmys and Joes. Always. Always. You have to have talent to win.
But you cannot be a tyrannic organization.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
Without winning.
But this is Spoelstra and Riles. This isn't anything new for Jimmy. Jimmy, everywhere he's gone, no matter where it was, Chicago prior to this, where was it? Was it Boston? Where was he before? Where did he?
Minnesota.
He lost his joy there too.
Yeah.
I like Jimmy Butler. I think he's hard as nails. I would have him in my foxhole. But, dude, you can't keep pulling I've lost my joy when your team sucks. You know, you're getting old. Yeah, you can't do what you used to do, but this trade me, I've lost my joy crap doesn't fly. You can't do this, bro. You can't.
I'll just say this. Remember that LeBron James chose Miami over everywhere. And then he left to go back to Cleveland because he was like, yeah.
There was some mission accomplished. And, yes, I know that Riles and Spoelstra work you hard. They do. But if this was a surprise, you know, if Butler just got here and realized, man, we're working hard even though we're getting our ass kicked. Why are we working so hard? That would be one thing. But I think he's behind a lot of this. He was all in on this 2 years ago. He was all in on this last year, and suddenly you don't have the joy now. Why don't you buckle up and start helping to win instead of being a problem and wanting out? Now, I know he knows they're not going to pay him next year. That he's got a balloon payment coming that they're not going to pay him that. So I think he sees the imminent problem as trying to take control of a situation and land where he wants to land. Because if he doesn't, he's going to end up someplace he doesn't want to be on a bad team that's willing to eat that kind of money. So I get what he's doing, but don't pull this "I've lost my joy" card. What he doesn't realize is anybody who hears that goes, well, screw you, bruh.
What do you think is going to end up happening with him?
Oh, they're going to trade him. He's going to get everything he wants. That's what happens in the world of the NBA. He's going to get traded. He'll land on a moderate to average team. They'll be happy to have him, and we'll just carry on.
Were you surprised that they suspended him?
I was a little shocked, but I think that was more about saving face amongst your peers. You can't, and don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Because we're going to move you.
I mean, it was a bad look when having him on the podium and just basically.
It's terrible. I mean, come on, Jimmy, you're better than this. You really are. And keep in mind, you're not talking about the Charlotte Hornets franchise. You're not talking about a mid-level bad franchise, the Pacers, that have been just average. We're talking about Riles and Spoelstra, who have a tradition of player after player, year after year, of being great because you follow this principle. And you were, and now you've lost your joy. That's the kind of thing that when you hear that as a basketball fan, you go, dude, of all the people to say this, it shouldn't be coming from you.
Sticking in the NBA, the Nuggets and the Spurs played back-to-backs, and Spurs took the first one, and I was like, oh, and this was after they blew out the Clippers. I was thinking, oh, man.
Played 2 games in a row so well.
They went and won at Denver, and then they come back home, and they go to overtime with the Nuggets here. They got a chance to sweep the Nugs, and then they score 3 points in overtime. How does that happen?
Well, you forget what butters your bread. It happens when you're a young team and you get discombobulated and the pressure starts getting to you. And Denver knew the longer we press these guys, the longer as we keep it close, they're going to screw it up. They were better they were better night before last. They were better on Friday night. They were better on Saturday night. And the young team at home lost their will late in the game. And Chris Paul and Wemby weren't enough. They just lost their will.
I think you're right.
I'm not mad at them. They're a young team, but especially beating a team with Joker twice in a row, especially how they beat him the night before, because Wemby victimized Joker on Friday night. I get it. Denver's a world championship team. These guys know what they're doing and have done it before, but these are the kind of wins that you need to progress past. You need to win those games, especially after you had owned them the night before. And the way they owned them in Denver, it just felt like, I want to get them again because I want to prove to myself that I'm that good. And they almost did.
How much of it has to do with shooting 27% from three?
Point guard, I mean, the three-point gods smile upon you, and then they,
And they take it away.
And part of the win in Friday night wasn't their shooting. It was Devin Vassell. I mean, he had such a phenomenal second half that, he willed them to a win. And we didn't have that savior in the fourth and into the overtime the way Devin was. Devin wasn't going to miss in Denver.
And I guess the other thing is the turnover woes caught him in that game, in the second game. But I also think this was one of those games where when you have Wemby, you never expect, and it wasn't like Wemby played a bad game. He had 23 boards, 20 points. Now he was 2 of 12 from 3, which I've said my piece on what I think about Wemby shooting 12 three-pointers a game.
There were 3 heat checks in there that should not have been taken. The others, they were in the offense.
Okay. What you don't expect to happen is the opposing team's big to score 46 points. That was...
Well, I will say that was a little bit, because Wemby embarrassed Joker the night before. Especially in the first half, Mitch Johnson figured out that they could run a particular offensive set that would have Joker switched off of Wemby when it started. But by the time it was over, Joker was forced to switch back onto Wemby, normally about 12, 15 feet away from the basket. And it happened 2 or 3 times to start the game. And Wemby just exposed him, embarrassed Joker, dribbled past him, layup, jump shot. And then...
so this was the revenge game.
Yeah, they poked the bear. Joker was not... He was embarrassed on Friday night, and he came and played like it on Saturday night.
One rebound short of a triple-double. Phenomenal, 46 points. Phenomenal night for Joker.
And never got more than a half inch off the floor. It was all groundwork.
Spurs get the Bulls in Chicago tonight.
That'll cure what ails you.
It should.
They're playing good basketball right now. But for a few things here and there, keep in mind they took Denver to overtime the night before. They beat them handily, easily at home. So it wasn't a decrease. They played not a great team. They played a very old, savvy team with a guy who, when he wants to be, is the best player in the world, and he was.
The Spurs have taken money. They opened as 1.5-point favorites, now 3.5-point favorites.
I bet it grows. I bet it gets bigger than that.
Yeah. So there you go. That's where we're at with the NBA. I think this is what as we discuss the Spurs this season, it's going to be this. It's going to be, yeah, it looked great last night. Oh, it looked terrible tonight. I think that's what the Spurs are.
And they didn't look terrible. Keep in mind, they took Denver to overtime, that they had embarrassed the night before. But for a couple of things, they win that game and feel really good about themselves. But they're playing better now than they did last week, and they were playing better last week than the week before. They've got a winning record. They're going to need to build some steam because in a couple of weeks they're gone. They're going to be gone for 3 weeks, and young teams on the road about 4 games in start to collapse. So they're going to have to find themselves over the next 2 weeks.
And they're going to have to find a shot because Wemby shoots significantly worse on the road than he does at home.
Mm-hmm.
And Wemby is now like he's in the mindset of if my shot's not falling, I'm going to shoot more. It's almost like he's like trying to be like Steph Curry. Like, when if Steph starts a game at 0 of 5, you want Steph to take that 6th shot because he's Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Wemby has that same mentality, except he's like on a good day a 35% 3-point shooter.
You're never going to get over this.
I'm not.
At some point, you're just going to have to accept the fact that this is just the game that Wemby is going to play. And he's going to take enough inappropriate shots that are made up with the miraculous to where we live with it. But on nights like this, you just want to, Mitch, call a timeout and put him in the paint.
It's
put him
going
in the
to,
paint.
I really
and
think,
throw the ball high and let him go get it and do something.
I'm not saying that it's changed his ceiling because, I mean, obviously, I still think he's going to be one of the best players in the NBA. I think he already is one of the best players in the NBA. But I do think that there's a limit on how good you can be if you continue to shoot that much and at a low percentage clip.
I completely agree. And maybe this is part of the building block plan for Victor. And over 3 years, he'll get closer and closer to the rim. But first and foremost, let's develop that three to spread the floor for you. But until we start to see above 30% shooting, it's just going to be nights where we're just going to have to deal with it. But I think his ceiling's probably about 35 to 40%. I just don't think he'll ever shoot any better than that.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good at three. I'll take it.
All right. I got to tell you guys about Karbach. Karbach Brewing. Didn't have any of that in Vegas, and I sure did miss it. But I came home to San Antonio, and I've got some right there in my fridge. And you know me, tonight I am not going anywhere because it's cold outside. I don't like to be out in the cold. I'm going to sit in my apartment. I'm going to crack open some Crawford box. That's the move for me tonight. And if you haven't gotten any, why not? What are you waiting for? It's all over H-E-B. Get down to H-E-B. They've got the Crawford box. They've got Hopadillo. They've got Love Street. Love Street's their best seller. It's everywhere. But they've got something for everybody's taste, and that means there's something for your taste, friend. So go out, hit up the H-E-B, hit up the liquor store, or if you are one of the guys who wants to go out tonight, well, you want to go out watch the Spurs game maybe, go up to your bartender, say, hey, you guys have any Karbach on tap? If they don't, chances are good they've got it in a can. Either way, they're all over San Antonio. They've made this market a priority. They want their beer in your hands. So do the right thing. Put their beer in your hands. Next time you're out and about, ask the bartender, please make it a Karbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your midday commute, we do have a stall at Loop 410 eastbound at Babcock off to the shoulder. On 90 on the frontage road eastbound at South General McMullen, disabled vehicle, that left turnaround lane is blocked. And we've got some road work on I-10 eastbound between FM 1518 to Trainer Hale, far east side of town. That road work in the left lane has you a bit slow from Greytown. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting today, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
It is playoff time. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. You know Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Be like me and 5 million other happy players winning money watching games with their Pick'em game, where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. You can cook up fire entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoff long. You can even take football and basketball and mix them together. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with my promo code STAR, and deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code STAR. Sign up today.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money on your sports action. Me and 10 million other people are playing every day, and now's the time to do it. Have you ever heard of this? You've got a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your season all game long, and now 1,000 times your cash. Heck, I've been a Prize Picks player for a long time. I've not seen this. 1,000 times your cash. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the fun in the last few weeks of the football season. Prize Picks is the best place to play. Up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get the action on the sports that you're playing, and now you can get up to 1,000 times your cash. Join over 10 million members. Play today. And if you sign up today, you get up to $50 instantly when you play. Use the code ALAMO. Sign up today for 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks. Run your game.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Lost his mind. Morning Huddle, 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star. I got back from Vegas last night. It was a good time. Good time. Did hit up Nobu. Ooh, delicious Nobu. Was lovely.
Is that what you posted on Instagram? That was
yes.
Good? Oh, that looked good.
Oh,
is that
yes.
the sushi thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, man, if that's fish, it's like
Little
is that fish?
Is that fish?
Little caviar. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Man.
And I lucked out because I was supposed to. I was projected to have to buy a dinner for 6 people.
6.
But my wife's sister and her brother came down with pneumonia and canceled the trip.
Oh,
Where'd they live? Where are they from?
Seattle.
Oh.
So instead, it was dinner for 4, and I had like $1,200 in comps.
Okay. You still had
Covered it all.
No way.
All I had to do was pay the tip.
Lucky.
Great night. It's like $250, $300 night out. Can't beat that.
So it would have been what? About almost $2,000 if they would have showed up.
Oh, if they would have showed up, yes.
You would have. Man.
Because it was a little over. It ended up being a little over $300 per person. So, like,
worth it. Money well spent.
Yeah, but again, it ended up being free for your boy. So I'll take that. Also, I wanted to go on Saturday night. It was my last night in town, and I was like, let's go out and do something fun.
Uh-oh.
Well.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh.
He's a family man. We've all had to do family nights out. Yeah. And what you did is fun.
No.
It wasn't fun?
No.
You need to drink a little bit more.
So on Saturday night, I wanted to go to the Knights game. Golden Knights were in town. They were playing the Buffalo Sabres. And I was like, my younger son had a sleepover. And I was like, cool, there's just 3 of us. Let's just get 3 tickets to the Knights game and go do it. We instead ended up going to go see David Copperfield.
Oh, I thought this was the night you did the painting.
Oh, no, that was a different night.
Oh, I've seen that David Copperfield show.
Was it the same show I wanted?
Well, I saw it 2 years ago.
Is it the one? Is it the one with the giant dinosaur?
Yes,
at the
yeah.
end?
I saw the dinosaur one.
Is there an alien in it?
I don't remember an alien.
This show sucks. Like,
well,
it was
I'm not
so
a big
bad.
magician fan anyway. Chris Angel, Mind
Freak, yeah.
Well, that's not the word I use, but those guys, I don't like magicians. So I'm always,
why did you go see David Copperfield?
I have any control over my life.
Okay, so your wife wanted to.
Yeah.
And did you tell her that this show stunk?
Well, I didn't know, but she knew I didn't like.
No, when you left, did you tell her it was terrible?
It's like, this is stupid.
My wife, even my wife, was like, "That was a dreadful show."
Stupid. I don't know. It doesn't fool it. Well, I guess it's kind of like all you can think of is how did he make that thing disappear and where is it right?
David Kopp, what he is good at is making gigantic things appear out of nowhere. I don't really know how he does it. It's impressive, but like he does that trick like 3 times in the show, and it's like okay, but also part of the show is like my dad worked at Roswell.
Yes.
And he met this alien named Blue.
Which is a lie. You're making this up.
And it's like it looks like the size of a gremlin, and it talks to him for the majority of the show.
Oh, I don't remember this. He's changed it up.
It is so bad. And he does a thing now where he takes a photo of himself holding up a big piece of paper at the beginning of the show. And he folds it up and he gives it to one guy in the audience, says, "Don't let anyone touch it." But then it's in your email. Like, so when you look at your email, you'll see all these things that I've told you were going to happen. I knew what was going to happen tonight. And then you get the email and it's clearly written in like AI. Like you can tell that's not on the paper. Like that's and David Copperfield in the picture. David Copperfield's gotten fat.
Gained some weight, huh?
Yeah, but it's still, the picture still has skinny David Copperfield holding the paper. And it's like, that's not tonight, friend.
Didn't he marry a supermodel?
Was it Christy Brinkley?
No, that was Billy Joel. Claudia Schiffer. Is he still with Claudia Schiffer?
No way.
Yeah, man.
He was married. They were 94 to 99.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but yeah.
He's been in a relationship with Chloe Gosselin since 2006.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, more power to you.
God, that guy had Claudia Schiffer.
Sure it is, man.
Damn.
Wonder what he had to make disappear for that.
I got to see what probably her husband is my guess. Chloe Gosselin. She's a good-looking gal.
I'm sure.
She's French.
And, he can pull all kinds of stuff out of his hat. Make things grow with just a abracadabra.
Yeah, it was
well, it was family friendly, and they pay this dude a lot of money. I mean, it's a nice building. He's in probably the nicest.
He's in the MGM Grand. It's
in town.
Yeah, it's just the show stinks. So if you go to Vegas, don't go to that. I would say I'm going to suggest skip out on David
What
Copperfield.
show would you recommend?
I'm not a big show guy.
Let's say I'm trying to think of one. I mean, all of the
Cirque du
Soleils,
is cool.
They're all the same, but
yeah,
they're good. Who's in residency there now? At Caesars.
Who is? Garth Brooks.
Oh.
Yeah, but the Garth Brooks tickets are like $450 a piece. I'm not taking my 16-year or 17-year-old to Garth Brooks. I can tell you that. Garth Brooks and Jerry Seinfeld, and even like the Jerry Seinfeld tickets I could have gotten were like $200-something with my with my Caesars love. So it was absurd, but we wanted to go watch comedy. But all the comedy clubs are 18 and up, and Jake's 17, and it's like,
Get him a fake ID.
That's what I need
Get him
to
from
do.
China. That's
what I need. If I could turn back time, I would go back and I would spend the money that I spent on David Copperfield tickets and use it to buy my son a fake ID.
You could.
Yeah.
There's probably some
That's
guy
what I would
right
do.
around a corner within 100 yards of where you were right then that would make it for you.
If I could change my way.
Don't
Cher.
ever sing a Cher song.
Why?
No grown man should ever sing a Cher song.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying.
I got you to walk with me. I got you to talk with me.
See, you start doing this, your next thing is to be Bette Midler, and before you know it, we're having another conversation.
I got you to hold my hand.
You're way too into show.
I got you to understand.
Can we go to break? Not yet. This hurts.
And then we did do the painting thing where we went and like you sit down and you basically.
See, I thought that's what you did because
you get drunk.
Your wife posted the picture of all y'all in the lovely painting, and I thought you all did. So you all chipped in on one.
No, we all did our own. Like
yours. So, which one did I see?
I'm not sure which one.
I
You probably saw
yours.
my wife's.
Yeah, I saw a good one.
Okay.
I'm not saying yours was bad. I just saw one that was good.
Well, mine was excellent.
Was it paint by numbers?
No. The way it works is there's like a lady who stands up at the front while you drink, and they tell you exactly what to do.
Switch over to the left, and
so there was me and my 2 kids and my wife, and then my older son's girlfriend. He's got now a serious girlfriend.
Wait a minute.
Very, very serious.
Oh, you brought the
very serious. And I met her for the first time, and I met her parents for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, and her dad is a Cowboy fan.
Oh, good people.
I don't know.
So
about
was that intentional to meet? Like the plan was to meet the parents at 17?
No, the plan was for. Well, the plan was for.
That's a big night.
Well, the plan was for me to meet her, but when we went to pick her up, her parents came outside to meet us.
Meet you because
so it was
you're
like,
this
surprise.
You're this ghost that lives out of town.
Yes,
I would have been the same way as them.
So they wanted to. They wanted to figure out what was going on with me.
This guy.
And they were like, "Well, if you're going to keep our daughter out till midnight, we need to know who the hell's taking her around." And it was me and my wife. So
you didn't embarrass your son in front of
No, not this time. Next time I will. You get one free pass.
Well, I leave that to the younger brother.
You get one free pass.
When the younger brother was out with the older brother and the girl, the younger brother kind of amplified by 2.
Yeah. She's really nice to my younger son, so he's cool with her.
Okay.
That's the move. Is you got to be nice. But she is a talker.
Well.
Now, Jake's last girlfriend, you couldn't get her to talk. Like, it was... I
don't trust them.
Yeah, she was real quiet. This one, man, she just goes and goes and goes and goes. Again, I'll take that over the alternative.
Yeah, I don't like the quiet ones.
I'll take that over the alternative. But she's a...
shifty lot.
She's a lacrosse player.
Ooh, she'll punch you in the face.
Yeah, she'll whoop your ass.
Pretty aggressive there.
Yeah.
Your son's tall kid. Is she tall?
No, she's not. She's of a normal size height. So I don't think he wants a girl that's close to his height. That would be gross.
We all have a type.
Yeah, but most dudes don't like 6'5" girls. It's just.
There's few out there.
Hey, listen, if you do, cool. I mean, that Cameron Brink gal.
The only problem is the big hands get you. It's a matter of scale,
That's right.
It's a scale thing.
The man hands.
The man hands. And,
you want someone with very tiny hands.
You know when Andre the Giant owns a beer can, it just loses all perspective. So
yeah, or she'll look like Kawhi Leonard.
I have as big a beer can as anybody. You know what I mean?
You want your beer can to look like a beer can.
I want it to look like a beer can, and not like it's in the hand of a giant.
I like it. I like it better when the hands are so small. Mine looks like a tall boy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking for maybe little tiny hands.
Yeah.
Well, you want tiny hands.
Well, it's all a matter of scale.
Yeah. Because something else will look smaller.
Sometimes you like.
Something else will look smaller.
Yeah,
with that huge hand.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want that. It's all. I mean, he's a young man. He'll figure that out.
That's too depressing.
Who was the quarterback that had little tiny hands, little baby doll
the
hands?
Pittsburgh kid.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny
Pickett.
So unfortunate to be known as the guy with the little hands.
Oh man.
Yeah. You know what that means.
Did Baker Mayfield have small hands too? I think I think he's overcome the small hand thing.
Well, you buy a Porsche,
and some guys who you wouldn't expect to have, I think Kyler Murray has big hands despite being a small person. That's the move, is to be like a small person, just still have massive hands, but
a big-handed little person.
But with a woman, you want the opposite.
Yeah.
You want the tiny hands. So,
yeah.
All right. When we come back, we will take a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. Starting today, the one and only Rich Eisen is coming to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
James Fletcher with San Antonio Sports Star here. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? The playoffs are here and time is running out. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states including Texas, Missouri, California, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment you'll get with the experts at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
The NFL lives right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
See, you're what's called an enabler. And you're just as bad as the doer, Vic. You're causing this. You're more guilty because you're causing this. You know that, right?
Love me.
She sounds like a goat.
Yeah. If I could reach the stars. I saw a bunch. We went to the Valley of Fire State Park, and there's a bunch of those mountain goats running around there, and I got to watch a couple of them fight.
Oh, that's cool. Did they rear up and
they're smacking heads?
Cool.
And it turns out it was two girl. The girl goats also have horns, and they were ramming each other in the head, fighting over water. And then a big swinging D man goat came up and like punked both of them out and started drinking the water. And
at a petting zoo or just out in the wild?
This was at the state park.
That's cool.
And then
Did you kill one?
No, that would be a crime.
Oh.
Dang,
that's not Texas then.
You want to kill all the animals, don't you?
Would you ever go into a state park and kill a deer?
I've never done that.
No.
I would not do such things.
No, that would be a crime.
Honestly, that would be wrong.
But that once that dude showed up, everybody else got real quiet, and they both stood there quietly and let him drink whatever water he wanted.
It's good to be the king.
Yeah, he was the man.
Now he'll probably get shot in the next 2 years. The moment
No,
he steps off
he lives
that
on
park.
a state park.
That doesn't mean you don't. I mean, there's game management. You can have too many.
I mean, I guess but they don't. I don't think they call on the state park.
If you have too many, they do.
I think well, maybe.
I mean, not everybody, but if you want to shoot an elk in New Mexico, they have a lottery because they know we have too many. We got to get rid of some of them, so they let you go to the state park and take one down.
I want to go shoot an elk so bad. I mostly just want to eat the elk.
I hear the steaks are good. I'm just not a fan.
Yes, it's so good, so good. I went into the rabbit hole of Chloe Gosselin, who's David Copperfield's girlfriend.
Oh, no. Does she have a particular set of skills?
She's a French shoe designer. And Taylor Swift famously wears her shoes.
Oh, so she makes big shoes.
Apparently so.
Yep.
Apparently so. Yeah, and apparently still has sex with David Copperfield, which is when it's kind of like David Copperfield. He looks weird now, like
a lot of plastic surgery going on there.
Yeah,
a lot of work done.
And then with the weight gain, it's just
I didn't know he'd gained weight.
It's just a weird. He's a weird looking dude, man. again, I can't recommend against seeing that show enough. It was not good at all. I so wish I would have gone to the hockey game. And the Knights won. It would have been so much fun, but no. Go see the Magic show.
David Copperfield's net worth is estimated to be $1 billion.
That's insane. What? That's insane.
Making him one of the wealthiest magicians.
I mean, I would think
there's a magician that's worth more than $1 billion. He's making his own money.
Who the hell could it be? What magician could be richer?
I'm just saying what it says. Making him one of the wealthiest magicians in the world. I think if you were making $100,000, you'd be one of the wealthier magicians.
I know, right? Not $1 billion.
It didn't take much.
Well, if you guys remember when he made the Statue of Liberty disappear,
he held it for ransom.
I'm guessing, yeah. He said, "Hey, United States, you want this back?"
He did the Dr. Evil thing.
Do you have it on there where David Copperfield's from, like where he grew up?
Let's see here. I did see something. His original name. Here.
He talks really funny.
David Seth Kotkin, Kotkin. He is an American illusionist. It doesn't say where he's from, but I guess American.
I don't like the way he talks.
I like the look at him.
I don't like the cut of his jib. Is what I don't like. But yeah, I was again. I've seen one other Magic show there. I saw.
Is Penn and Teller still there?
They are. They play at the Rio.
Oh, they've been at the Rio for 50 years.
I've never seen
the Rio
them
forever.
What's in Sammy Davis Jr.?
Well, I saw one of them where the fat one. Is he Penn or Teller?
I don't know.
No, he's not even fat anymore. He lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
But the big one. I saw him catch a bullet in his teeth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He got shot in the face and caught the bullet in his teeth.
The only magician I'd seen before this in Vegas was Matt Franco, who's like a younger guy. He was on America's Got Talent. And it was a good show. Like, I enjoyed it. And I don't particularly love Magic either, but it was pretty good.
I've seen Chris Angel and David Blaine and David Copperfield. I don't know why. I guess it's because I'm always with my kids.
I just know now David Copperfield is, if there's a worse bang for your buck in Vegas, I haven't found it, because it's not a cheap show. Like, it was dreadful. It really was dreadful. I don't know who. I can't imagine there were people who left that show going, "Man, that was
good."
Were there a bunch of blue hairs?
That was amazing.
Was it an older crowd, or was it just?
It was a mixed crowd. Yeah. The best part was, and actually probably the only funny part of the show. So at the beginning they throw around this frisbee and 3 people catch the frisbee and give 2 numbers each. I'm gonna give away his whole show because it sucked and I don't want anybody to buy it.
Okay.
And the last person that got the frisbee was a Chinese lady who spoke 0 English, and he insisted that the guy give it to the woman. He had 2 men already. He was like, "We need a woman. We need a woman." Okay. And the guy tried to stand up, and he said, "Sir, you're an ugly woman." And he gave the frisbee to the wife or his mom. I don't know who it was, but she didn't speak English.
I had no idea what was going on.
So every time he'd ask her something, like she'd look at the guy she was with, and he'd say something, and then she'd go, she'd get 9:46. Okay. Well, then at the end of the show, like once all the numbers were there, they're on stage, and he's like, "Can you do me a favor and read these numbers?" In silence. She's just like staring at him. She has no idea what he's saying. "Read the numbers." And he goes.
Did he say it louder or with an accent?
He goes, 6. 42. And then he goes, "Thank you so much for reading those numbers."
Wow.
Which it was, I mean, at least I knew that he wasn't like, didn't have plants in the audience, because this woman was clearly like, she was like
of a plant.
ruining the show. Every time he'd give her direction, she would just stare at him. And it was like, it made the show even more, it was just, the whole thing was a mess. It was an absolute mess. Don't do it. Even Pledger says worst Vegas decision he ever made, and that's saying a lot. Yeah, I've made much worse decisions in Vegas, but the worst
that's
one that I've.
This would still cost too. It wasn't cheap.
Yeah, worst one that I've paid full freight for. How about that? Wow. All right, let's take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
Well,
it's been a long run. We had a good run there, AJ.
Yep.
No football tonight.
No football tonight.
No action.
None of that stuff. None of that stuff. So instead, we get to look at the playoff odds. And how about this? Odds to win the AFC. Chiefs plus 150. Ravens plus 290. Bills plus 300.
Wow.
Chargers 12-1. The Texans 25, or excuse, Broncos 22-1. Texans 25. Steelers 29-1. That's just to make it to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, there is no value on this number. Lions plus 115. Eagles plus 330. Vikings plus 750. Packers plus 950. Bucks 11-1. Commanders 18-1. Rams 18-1.
They see what I see. I mean, it's not surprising.
Who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl?
If I was picking right now, Detroit, Buffalo.
That is the third best odds, or third lowest odds, plus 750 if those are the two teams that make it.
What about Detroit, Baltimore?
Plus 700, second favorite.
Detroit, Kansas City.
Favorite, plus 425.
Wow, no Eagle in there at all.
The best Eagles number is plus 950, Chiefs, Eagles. Bills, Eagles would be 16-1.
Do we want Chiefs, Eagles? I mean,
No.
the rematch, and
No.
no, I don't think we want that at all.
Maybe it's just me. I've got Chiefs fatigue. I feel like everybody's got Chiefs fatigue that isn't a Chiefs fan. Am I wrong?
Well, I was also kind of thinking Eagles fatigue as well. I mean,
I think that's you just as a Cowboy fan. Like, you always have Eagles
No,
fatigue.
it really is. But it did feel like, man, I've seen Chiefs, Eagles. I'd like to see something different. That's all it.
I do think I think a lot of people want to see the Lions because the Lions are kind of like a sad sack organization that people like casuals can cheer for. I think people feel the same way about Buffalo, quite frankly, and I guess when you really think about it, they are kind of historically a sad sack organization. I think Minnesota, you can put into the same boat. People wouldn't mind seeing them, but I really do think there is something to. People have seen enough of the Chiefs.
Well, who do you like as we sit right now? Because I know that we vary on one side.
I think I like if I were to place a wager, it would probably be Baltimore and Philly.
And I'm not surprised with Baltimore but so you believe Philly can get through Detroit, can get on that fast track?
I do.
I'm not saying they can't.
I think it's mostly because like what I was saying is I think Detroit has to be able to bully you, and I don't think they can bully Philly. I really don't. And I think that's where they'll run into a problem.
And at some point, that the lack of manpower on defense is going to eventually catch up to them. I keep thinking that anyway.
It has to. Jose says most people support Mahomes because he's a Texan. I mean, hell, dude, half the guys in the NFL are Jalen Hurts is a Texan. Is anybody supporting him?
I don't want him to go away. I'm just tired of him now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But apparently there are a lot of Texas Tech fans who like.
Well, I get it. I mean,
I'm over it.
My dad's favorite team.
I've seen enough of the Chiefs. Give me something new.
I wonder. We talked earlier about the college playoff, and every team that had a bye lost. The Chiefs, by the time Kelsey and Mahomes suit up again, he'll be off the 24
days.
I've never heard of a break like that in the NFL. Not once have I heard him getting that much time off. I wonder. These are pros. You don't expect any slip. But, that Russ versus Russ thing, that will be something to talk about. A month off?
That's a lot.
Man.
My dream matchup is Buffalo versus Tampa. That's what I really want. If I could have my druthers.
Because you want to see Baker Mayfield finally win the big one?
Yeah.
That's it?
Or Buffalo versus the Commanders. I'd be good with that, too.
You know what? We saw a Final Four with FAU playing, San Diego State. So this could happen.
Just give me the one time. Buffalo Commanders. That's a rematch of the second time the Bills lost the Super Bowl.
Change the playoff structure if that's what we ended up with. Well, we can't do this again.
No more of that. The college football odds for the semifinals. Notre Dame, a 1.5-point favorite over Penn State. Ohio State, a 6-point favorite over Bevo.
Well, I like the pick. That's a big number, though.
That is
big old number.
That is a big number, considering this game, like my power ratings, which have adjusted Texas down and Ohio State up, certainly would they make this 2 on a neutral? This is on a neutral, and if anything, in Arlington, it's going to be closer to a pro-Texas crowd than a pro-Ohio State crowd.
Yes, it will be. Although Ohio State travels.
They do, but I can't get to 6 to bet Ohio State. But I also don't have much of an appetite for Texas right now.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you, and you kind of answered my question. I mean, how much are you going to hold Arizona State against Texas? Was it truly a
Remember we talked about this before I left. I said, I don't know how much I trust Texas. And, I think we really have to look at Texas and go, who the hell have they beat?
Well, yes, you're right. And in hindsight, when they lose, and they probably will to Ohio State, we'll look back and go, wow, we should have paid more attention to this or paid more attention to that. The other side of this for me is the first half, or at least all of the first quarter and most of the second quarter, Texas looked a lot like Ohio State did.
Yeah.
I mean, it appeared to me that they were about to uncork one, like a 48-0 kind of beating. And what happened wasn't because Arizona State was great. Scatterboo was, and they got some beneficial things. It was more about Texas just playing with their food. That's the best term I heard used. I wish I could have come up with it. I don't hold that loss that much against them because I saw what they were capable of, at least offensively, for about 18 minutes that could beat Ohio State.
It's funny you said I don't hold that loss against them. They won the game.
I know, but you know what I'm saying? Everybody came after that game like they lost, and what I came out of was Quinn Ewers I can absolutely trust when I have to have him. I have no worries about him, so I'll call some plays now that I might not even call 3 weeks ago because he will deliver. At least he did it for me. And that was enough for me to get out of it. I think Arizona State was just touched by God that day. And Scatterboo was just absolutely ridiculous.
He was, particularly in the second half as he wore him down. But if you can't stop the run, you're going to have problems with Ohio State.
They got 2 dudes that can do it. And that Jeremiah Smith's about the best wide receiver I've seen coming out of college in, I don't know, long time.
Pretty damn good. So it's going to be fun. I like Penn State, I think, over Notre Dame. Again, it's hard for me to trust James Franklin in these situations, but, man, that team looks like they've got it going on. Now, granted, they played Boise, so –
and Boise was game, but they
played Tennessee and Boise so far. Mm-hmm. And, well, I guess you're but what Notre Dame did to Georgia, and Notre Dame, by the way, the offense wasn't great. Now, Georgia's really good on defense. So is Penn State. I just think Penn State's going to be able to score more than Georgia did with a backup quarterback. I think let's not go acting like Notre Dame's solved the puzzle. They played a guy who was making his first ever start.
And if not now, win for Notre Dame last week. That was the game they had to win. This one, I don't think they can. I'm not going to say the same thing this week. If not now, win Notre Dame. You should win this. No, if they win this one, this will be due to extraordinary game planning and coaching because they're not as talented as Penn State.
College hoops tonight. We've got a couple. Well, first of all, Incarnate Words at Lamar. They are 3-point dogs at Lamar. I remember when Lamar was they were a brand new program. They were dreadful. They've kind of gotten figured it out. Ohio State's at Minnesota. Ohio State is 6-point road favorite.
They've gotten better, AJ.
They have gotten better.
That's a team that has improved.
And I think that win over Kentucky, which cost me money, certainly opened my eyes a little. And Minnesota, I normally almost never bet Big Ten road teams, but I think Minnesota's dreadfully bad. I kind of feel bad for them. I wanted Minnesota to be better. They're just not good. Ohio State probably thumps them tonight. And then Houston hosts TCU. Houston is a 19-point favorite over TCU. TCU got a win at home over Kansas State this weekend.
It's a big number.
That is a huge number.
For a conference game. That 19 points in a conference game, just on general principle, I'm taking TCU.
I think what I'm going to do, because it does feel like an absurd number, is I think I'm just going to bet the team total under on TCU. I don't know how TCU is going to score. So that right now it's at let's see, where are we at? 65 and a half? No, that can't be right. That's the wrong game. But I don't know how they score because they can't shoot threes, and they're not going to get anything inside against Houston. So where do their points come from? I don't know. Their number is 54 and a half. I need TCU to not score 55 points. I can see that happening.
Good San Antonio kid came out of O'Connor. Brendan Winslow plays on that TCU team. He can shoot. So if they're going to be in it, it'll be him.
Okay. Nobody's been able to shoot it so far for them.
No, why they're there. But
how much
a huge
How much does he play?
He's a starter. He's one of those grad transfers. He was out at Wyoming for a couple years.
In the association tonight, the Blazers are at Detroit. Detroit.
Big win for Detroit the other night.
It was. Anthony Edwards scored 1 million points, and they were still able to beat him. That's pretty impressive. Detroit's a 6.5-point favorite.
I like it.
Against the Blazers tonight. The Suns are 3.5-point dogs in Philly.
There's some activity going on. I wouldn't be surprised. I know this is crazy. Devin Booker could get moved.
That would be wild.
I at some point, Phoenix is going to have to erase the blackboard. You know what I mean? And everything they've done to this point has not worked.
No one's going to move. No one's going to take Bradley Beal.
The only way I'd take him is if I was getting Book with him.
Yeah. That Bradley Beal mistake is going to haunt them because it was such a mistake that they can't get out of it. Pacers, 10-point favorites at Brooklyn. How about this one? I keep saying this team finds ways to win. Orlando is a 12-point dog at the Knicks. 12.
Who's hurt?
Everybody for Orlando. Everybody. So. Wagner's, the Boncaro, everybody's hurt. But 12 feels like a lot for a team that just finds a way to win every single game.
Well, here Towns and Brunson are both game time. Pay real close attention to that. Boncaro and Wagner, of course, are out.
That makes me want to play Orlando even more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pay close attention.
If one of those guys is out, then
if Brunson is out with that calf, they don't have a chance.
Bucks at the Raptors. Bucks laying 7.5 on the road. The Spurs, 3-point favorites at Chicago. Clippers, although Kawhi played last night, right? That means he won't play tonight?
No.
Oh, they're 2-point dogs at Minnesota. So Kawhi played his first game of the season last night, and now, he's probably going to take a couple weeks off would be my guess. The Mavs, 4.5-point dogs in Memphis. That's a really good game tonight, Dallas and Memphis. Is that on national TV, I wonder?
You've got to figure it is. I'm looking to see what the broadcast is.
Let's see that one. That's what I want to watch.
It will be. No, it is not.
What?
It is a local broadcast.
Ugh, gross. And then the I don't know what word I would use. The beleaguered Miami Heat. 3.5-point dogs at Sacramento.
There is no joy in Mudville.
There's no joy. No joy, except for Joy Taylor, who apparently gives joy to anyone who asks.
Well, if there's something you can offer her, if there's a benefit for her, she's more than willing to offer her services and friendship.
And if something bad goes down, she'll just say you sexually assaulted her. No big deal.
No, not at all. Have you met her brother?
No big deal. Friends, that'll do it for us.
One day down.
That's it. Yeah, we only got 4 more days to go this week.
And 364?
Less than that. Less. 360. 360. Blitz is going to go on at 2. If you haven't heard the Blitz before.
We got a new dude joining the fam today. Noon. Rich Eisen.
Be here. Coming up at noon. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat